welcome to another episode of Panel on Panels, the podcast about all things comics and comics related. I'm your host, John Campbell. Joining me, as always, my co-host, Mike Gergoni.
Greetings, John.
And Mr. John Van Eilert.
Hi, everybody. How's it going?
All right.
Give you a second there to...
We always do, for courtesy.
Reaffirm your life with Donovan. There's a podcast, Reaffirming Your Life with Donovan.
Yeah, you want to put that on the network?
Sure. We are starting a network now. Or we have started.
Well, it's probably...
You know what we should call it?
Or we started
NBC. I'm pretty sure that's not taken.
Oh, that's good. NBC.
What would it
I like
stand
the sound
for?
of that.
National Broading Queso.
Yes, because that starts with a
Queso.
C. Queso.
Here's the thing.
It's the Spanish word for case, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
And a
Queso.
broading case. You know the
boy.
old turn of phrase?
We just lost the Spanish audience, I'll tell you that right now.
broading case.
Like we had them ever.
Donde comic books.
Donde?
Yes. I don't speak Spanish.
Got it.
Yeah,
I think our-
I don't know. You
I
know what
think our-
comic books is in Spanish? I don't know. Libros would be books.
I feel like every thought in my brain
Comicos,
right now,
bookos.
that's what I was staying away from. That's why it was a big positive.
There it is. Gergoni says it, so Donovan doesn't have to.
I feel like we should have a
Remember,
podcast.
folks, direct your letters to Mike Gergoni, care of Panel on Panels.
Just spell it out. Just figure out how to spell that name.
Yeah.
Nobody
Dare
else has. I feel like...
That's right. You're going to be lucky because everybody's going to misspell it. So.
Yep. Oh, man, there's going to be another guy.
Gergoni.
Mitchell Giorgini is going to get a whole bunch of hate letters.
He's been getting that his whole life.
I
though.
don't even have a podcast.
Yeah. And I like that they misspell...
He runs a deli.
They
Yeah.
misspell Michael
Yeah.
as well. Mitchell.
Well, yeah, it's tough.
It's
Yeah.
the silent T that I have that throws everyone off.
Yeah,
These people are still sending letters, all right? They're back a few steps.
Yeah. That guy, he's so depressed now. Poor Mitchell.
Look, don't feel bad for Mitchell. He brought this on himself by pronouncing his T's.
Yeah. Pronouncing your
Because you've got
T's,
all the
folks.
silent... Your
That's
name is
what it'll
Michael, but
get
with
you.
silent T's.
Yep.
And there's some silent T's in Gergoni as well.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I
And
think
there's
there's
silent
a couple
T's in
of them.
everything, John.
That's right.
Back just one previous conversation. We should start our recommendation section with Por qué comic books. Why not comic books?
Yeah.
Why not this?
That's just why comic books. Where's the not coming in?
Por qué means
No, por qué means why.
no.
This is not
Why
the linguistics
Por qué
podcast.
no would be why not.
Guys, if
Oh,
you have
that's
questions
right.
about what Spanish
Wow.
things are, you should go to Google Translate and type it in your own damn self.
Or listen to Donovan and I's new podcast
It's called
How do you say something in Spanish?
Not a damn clue.
where we spend an hour trying to come up with how to say one word.
I can't believe that just happened.
I don't think that's right. Could that possibly be it? No, that doesn't sound good to me.
I think like
That's
why
not running off the
comics
right
works
tense
is-
at all.
No.
Why
Now, are you
comics
using the
would work.
formal usted on that? Because that's really going to change things.
John, did you actually take a Spanish class? I want the real nitty gritties. Right
I
here.
took 4 years of Spanish.
Guess what? I took 4 years of.
German?
That's correct. They
See, I was going to guess, like, Mozambique, like
That's so racist.
Louisiana, like, gutter slang was my guess for your language.
Louisiana gutter. Did your high school offer Louisiana gutter slang?
We called it Creole,
oh.
Oh.
but
Ooh.
gutter slang, I guess, is a thing.
Let's just lose all the audiences by the end of this.
Our huge audience base in Louisiana.
Do you think people?
Hey, if you're a race or region we haven't offended yet, email us at panelonpanels@gmail.com. We'll get around to you.
We'll make our
Add you
rounds.
to the list.
Separate but equal.
I don't think we've said anything yet about the El Salvadorians. Geez, are we talking about comics? I forgot.
I think so.
Is this the end? I think we did an hour, didn't we? Is that the
No.
end of the show?
No,
all
It
right.
might be after all the politically incorrect.
Yeah, we've done
things
an
you
hour
said.
20. No, that's it for this week. No, we are talking about comics today.
Refreshing change of pace.
I know. Yeah, we thought we'd give it a shot, see if it catches on, see if it tickles our fancy.
Whoa, that makes me feel so uncomfortable. That phrase is maybe the worst phrase in the English
You don't tickle your
language.
fancy nightly?
No.
The thing.
I try to do it at least once a day.
It's
I
so-
can get in twice sometimes, tickling my fancy.
No.
Oh boy, I'm sorry I said it. It's so old timey and yet at the same time so uncomfortable. you know?
Deedle, deedle, deedle.
There's a lot of old-timey uncomfortable things.
That's my fancy being tickled.
Oh boy. So
Oh, I'm crying.
we've talked about a lot of comic book movies on the show.
yeah.
Some good, some bad. Some very bad.
Some we don't speak of anymore.
Ever. Not anymore.
They're the Voldemorts of this show.
Whoa.
Harry Potter just had the one Voldemort. This show has multiple Voldemorts.
our Voldemort, our Legion.
Right, yeah. Come on. So we've got it way worse than Harry Potter ever did. We do live in cupboards under stairs, though. I should note
Yeah,
that.
I
So
mean,
it's something.
I gotta say though, my cupboard is just chock full of Fig Newtons and goldfish, so I'm happy.
So not that bad.
No.
You've got it up on the Potter kid.
I love that we have it worse than a kid who was orphaned.
Yep.
When the Dark Lord killed both of his parents and sent him to the worst human beings alive, the Dursleys.
Yeah.
Like,
We have it way worse. I just keep thinking.
Look,
what are you whining about?
No,
kid?
it could have been worse. He could have been raised by Hagrid.
you think that would have been worse?
Yes,
I would watch
Hagrid
that
is not
movie.
equipped to raise a child.
I would watch that movie.
Emotionally, physically, monetarily.
Just think of all the beard hair that's lying around. Good God, you want to?
Well, that's how he would
drain?
make pillows for his kids.
Oh God.
Think of the beard.
You know
hair.
what? He had it lucky being with the Dursleys. Come on. Is this a Harry Potter podcast? We're all over the place today.
We
Harry
haven't taken our
Podcast.
meds today.
That must exist, Harry Podcast. It's where they get really high and watch Harry Potter movies.
I would be super down for that podcast.
Well, that'll come to the network someday.
Sure, sure.
That'll be a Done Just Ninja
If you
show.
want to do that, write in. We'll produce it.
Let us know.
By
Yeah,
produce it, I mean you can do it.
and we'll see if we'll put it up. But so when comics and movies come together, yes, it can be a mixed bag sometimes. I'd say it's mostly good, especially these
Nowadays.
days. Yeah, nowadays.
We're in sort of the golden age of comic book movies.
Comic book movie. But there are, and so obviously studios are looking for comic books that they could turn into major movies.
Or TV shows, or
Or-
any number of things.
Not enough looking for animation, I don't think, but we do want to
Video
talk about
games?
some.
Yeah.
Or video games even. So we want to kind of do the studios a favor today.
You're welcome, studios.
Yeah, by the way, thank you.
Send the checks to Donovan Island.
You're welcome.
Just make them out to cash.
Make them out to
I think that'd be best. Fill in whatever amount you want. So we want to talk about some comics we think are ripe for adaptation.
There are so many.
Yeah, there are a ton that have. I mean, it's amazing because people talk about how many. There's so many comic book movies. Like, there's so many more comic books.
There could be more, guys.
Well, there could be more, but I mean, we want to talk about the ones that really should be. Or I mean, it's amazing they haven't been to a certain
Right.
extent. Stuff that just lends itself so perfectly to become a movie, a TV show, a video game, an animated series or film. Or is there anything else we want to talk about? I mean, what other mediums could it translate?
I
to?
mean, there's
Board
definitely board games.
Or board
Though
games.
we are also kind of in a golden era of designer board games. So we're seeing more and more of those.
True.
Like, what's the company? I believe Q Factory. I'm not sure. They're making a lot of board games based on certain things. We've got things like the Game of Thrones board game.
Right.
We've got actually Marvel has come out. Legendary is
Yes.
a deck building game that Marvel
Right,
put out
right.
That's really cool.
Is it?
Oh,
I've
yeah.
seen- I've seen
Spot
that around. I
about a
haven't-
dozen times.
I have not played it, but yeah.
It's a fun deck building game. You can
looks
play
cool.
it cooperatively. We're all trying to take down one massive supervillain,
Nice.
or you can all play kind of against each other and be playing your own decks of heroes and villains.
Cool.
I mean, this one was pretty logical, but they do have Doctor Who Yahtzee. So, I mean, that's
To be fair, there have been an explosion of Yahtzees I've noticed in the last
Oh,
year.
yeah.
There's
Would
Doctor
there be
Who
a
Yahtzee.
of Yahtzees?
Possibly. I saw a Firefly Yahtzee the other day where
What?
the dice cup is the Serenity.
Yeah,
it looks
yeah,
so
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
It's like $50, so I was really hesitant
No.
to, but it looks so cool. And the dice are in Chinese.
Nice.
Oh,
I saw a
my
Legend of
gosh.
Zelda Yahtzee, which seemed
Yep.
super lazy, actually. It was just the chest with some multicolored dice.
They can't all be winners.
There's a Walking
if it was a
Dead
Master
Yahtzee that I
Sword?
saw
Yep.
that was like a zombie coming out of the ground, and you open up his skull, and that's the dice shaker. So we are in the golden age of Yahtzee as well.
We're just kind of in the golden age of merchandising. Everything
Yeah.
is
I feel
merchandised.
Every generation has said that.
Do you have any-
I feel like fire was
No.
invented, and they're like, "Ook look, we're in the golden age."
Well, yeah, because then they could keep away
Of
the saber-toothed
fire.
tigers and
I
giant
know,
ground
that's
sloths.
the golden age.
The golden age of gold. The golden glow of fire. Somebody branded that, I'm sure, back in the day.
Golden glow.
Caveman advertising agencies. I want to meet Caveman Don Draper. So guys, we want to talk about some comics we feel like.
Are ripe for adaptation.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of want to start out with one that I know has been attempted to make
Sure.
an adaptation in the past, but for some unknowable reason, it has failed time and again.
Okay.
And that is Lock and Key.
Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah,
have
that
that
was
on
one
my
of the
list.
ones I had as well. Fox made a pilot of it a few years ago.
I really want to see that pilot.
I've not heard good things about it.
Really?
No.
Oh, that's too bad.
Well, it's a Fox show. That Lock and Key shouldn't be on Fox. It should
No?
be on AMC with The Walking Dead
Or FX.
or any of those things. I mean, look at how. I mean, particularly with horror. Look at the success of.
For those who
AMC
don't
and
know,
FX.
Lock and Key is a horror comic written by Joe Hill. Oh, who does the art for it? Oh, crap, I'm blanking.
I can't think of it.
But it's the same artist the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, no. But anyway, it's a...
Our bias against artists continues.
It's not bias against artists.
I
We
know...
don't pay attention to them clearly, though.
I don't pay attention to a lot of things.
That's true. You don't pay attention to all kinds of stuff.
That's why I'm not wearing pants today.
Oh, that's why. I wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah,
I just was kind of gonna let it go.
I got here and I was like, that's what all those stairs have been at all day.
Yeah.
If you go to court without pants on,
Which you were in court earlier today, I know.
I'm in court most days.
You're juggling numerous lawsuits, both against you and from you.
And I
Thanks for stretching, guys. Gabriel Rodriguez is the name of the guy who does the art for Lock and Key.
You know, you could have played that off as,
Nope.
I've come up with it. Not, I'm searching my smartphone for it. But instead,
Nope.
so honest, Kirk.
jokes on you. I wasn't in court, but I am pantsless.
One of those things was true.
I appreciate that, Donovan. I appreciate your honesty. Just like I'm sure the audience appreciates my honesty. I'm not trying to lead them around by the nose. I'm looking shit up while you guys are making funny.
Please don't say that you appreciate that I'm pantsless. Because
I appreciate that you thought that was funny. Lock and Key, though, would make such an awesome... I mean, I think TV show would be great.
It's a horror series about a family who moves
yeah.
to a small town in New England on the island of Lovecraft.
Now, we should point out that Joe Hill is the son of Stephen King.
But here's the thing about that. He went under a pseudonym. Yeah, it is.
That's not true.
Yeah, it is true.
Yeah. Joe Hill is Stephen King's son. But he made his chops as a writer before revealing that, which is why I respect him.
Yeah, but I was going to say, what you just said sounds like the beginning of a Stephen King novel.
It also sounds like the beginning of a Lovecraft novel. It sounds like the beginning of a lot of...
True, but I
horror.
Mean, the small New England town.
Sure.
I didn't grow up on Lovecraft. I grew up on Stephen King. So.
Right.
So small New England town where creepy stuff is happening, Stephen King is what comes to mind.
But, I mean, and Joe Hill has clearly been influenced by his father.
Oh,
at least in
unquestionably.
some ways.
I mean, he's written a lot of other stuff that's not that as well.
Horns, great example.
Lawrence, Nosferatu. You know.
But Lock and Key, this family, their father gets murdered under a little weird circumstances.
A little weird, yeah.
And then so they pack up and move to this small New England town. They move into this big ancestral home that their family owned.
Always a good idea.
And weird stuff starts happening.
No.
There's some strange things in a well.
We don't want to spoil it too much because you should go out and check it out.
Right, but what basically the story revolves around is they find these weird magical keys all over the island and in their home, and they all do different things. Like some keys let you look into people's brains. Some keys let you grow huge. Some keys let you take over the bodies of animals and stuff.
Mm-hmm. It's cool. It's a really
and there's
cool
weird spooky adventures going on with all of that.
Yep.
Here's what I feel like would be fun for this episode, and I know everybody in the audience agrees with me. Why don't, when possible...
Always good to speak for the audience.
I always do.
I know.
Why don't we come up with an elevator pitch for some of these shows? You know? I think it'd be fun.
this is
Because how do you boil it down to,
Well, I think
that's a
I mean,
long-
one of the things I want to talk about is
long pitch.
how do we think this should be adapted? Because I definitely think
TV show.
is the
For Lock and Key.
It's too
Yes.
big. It's
Put
too
it
big.
a Netflix series.
Oh,
Yeah,
that'd be
sure,
so good.
absolutely.
A Netflix series, I feel like, could do it really good justice.
I know that there's an answer to this, or that there is an exception to this, but I'm going to go ahead and ignore for this. I feel like they haven't really done horror on
Netflix?
And somebody's going to tell me Hemlock Grove, but
Ooh,
I
but that's
don't
so-
want to talk about Hemlock
I
Grove.
know.
Aside from an awesome werewolf transformation, I'm just shaking.
I
my
am
head at
Worst
Hemlock Grove.
Skarsgård.
I'm okay with Hemlock
You're
Grove.
right. He is the worst Skarsgård.
I'm okay with that
I like
show.
those other Skarsgårds.
I love Famke Janssen, but what
Me
are you
too.
doing? What are you doing on that show?
Taking a paycheck is what she's doing.
She's in between X-Men movies.
I like Eli Roth, and they tried to sell that show as his thing, but
she was better. She was better at being that character and Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters.
yes, she was. Which not enough people talk about Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters.
Great movie.
It's a super awesome movie.
That movie has led me to believe that Gemma Arterton should be the next Tomb Raider.
Oh yeah, totally. Especially if you go with that new Tomb Raider.
That's the talk, everybody.
Yeah, good.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lock and Key would be a very good episodic kind of every
5
episode.
seasons. It's planned
Yeah.
out. It's mapped out. I mean, like, look at what FX is doing now with Guillermo del Toro's The Strain. Where it's like it's 3 seasons. Each one is one of the books. Like, it's very specifically mapped out.
Right.
And you've got your arc built in because you've got this source material. Mm-hmm. So if you got a really good creator like The Strain has with the Carlton Cuse, and if you got Joe Hill involved and stuff.
Oh, I think you'd have to.
Well, and I think that's kind of the name of the game now. I mean, you look, because also Chuck Hogan and Guillermo del Toro, who wrote those Strain novels, are executive producers on the show.
Yeah.
In addition to Carlton Cuse, and then like Robert Kirkman doing Walking Dead, and now Outcast as well.
They're making a show of Outcast?
They are. Cinemax is doing the Outcast show.
Interesting.
Yeah, and Kirkman's heavily involved in that.
I feel like Netflix is going to come up a lot on the show, and the reason I
Well, it's
believe
just the freedom to do whatever you
Well,
want.
and
Well,
Daredevil.
yes, I mean both.
I mean,
valid-
Daredevil showed what they can do for
both
comics.
are valid points, but I feel like what I'm getting at more is that when you have a comic, with the exception of like The Walking Dead and things, you have a complete work in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
You're not reacting to audience members saying, "Oh, I like this character. I want to see more of them," or "I don't like this character." Or, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have this going on. You don't have. You know, we don't have Nielsen boxes telling you, you know, like, oh, we got to put more of these people in the
I
show.
don't want this to become a discussion about Nielsen boxes.
No,
but yeah.
it's not.
Because
But what it
that'll
is
take over any conversation if I'm involved.
all the Daredevil stuff was filmed before it was ever released
Right.
and put
Yes.
together, and it was one whole thing. Lock and Key. It doesn't need to be changed. Lock and
that's-
Key is great.
But that's also a lot of the way they make cable television as well.
oh yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the cable shows are fully finished before they ever air.
So
as well.
cable or Netflix?
Yeah.
Like
just
good
not
cable.
network is basically what we're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, stay away from. I don't think there's anything that we're going to advise to go on network.
Yeah. But yeah.
Well-
So I don't know. That was my first
No,
big
this-
one is Lock and
Lock
Key.
and Key.
I feel like
had that one as well. Can I talk off of, a little bit in a similar capacity? Another thing I've always thought would make an amazing TV show is Steve Niles' Criminal Macabre.
I'm
Dark
familiar.
Horse
I just
book.
haven't actually read it.
Yeah. The Cal McDonald stuff. He's basically a guy. He's a private detective who sees all the demons in the world, and it's driven him insane. So he's a pill popping booze hound.
Awesome.
So it's like classic noir, but everybody's got there are zombies and demons and werewolves, and
but also the
vampires and-
supernatural turn. Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Dylan Dark, Dead of Night.
Oh, Dylan Dog.
Dylan Dark. Sorry,
Yeah,
Dylan Dark.
it's a little bit like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Is
But
that movie any good?
not really.
That movie isn't terrible.
Okay, you know what? I'll agree with that. It's not
Seriously,
terrible.
it's not terrible.
It's not terrible.
Brandon Routh's great.
Yep.
The concept of the movie's really great. I don't think they had the budget they needed to support it. Is what I'll say.
And Steve Niles had always modeled Cal McDonald after Tom Jane. So, like,
Oh, yeah.
right there, you've got your leading man. If you look at the covers of those books, it's him.
Not gonna lie, a little disappointed he's still not gonna be the Punisher in Daredevil season 2.
Me too. He was an amazing Punisher, and he made that awesome
but-
Punisher short on his own.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
John Bernthal is an actor I love,
Yeah.
who's playing the Punisher.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to do an awesome job. But yeah, I thought Criminal Macabre because it's number one. It's already mystery based,
Right.
So you could
That lends to kind of an episodic nature.
yeah, and that could be a really cool, like once again, like cable detective show set in the supernatural world.
Definitely. I think there's a few Hellblazer is one that I'd say, like, of course that would be a TV show, but they tried, and
And it didn't, but it was on network once again.
yeah,
Once again, imagine an FX John Constantine show.
right?
Yeah, it'd be so awesome. Although John Constantine will live again, as we know now.
I'm so confused about that. So, like, is he going to be just on an episode of Arrow, or is
To
it going to
start
be like
with.
a continuing thing? Or
I believe he's in one episode to start with, but I mean, because of the way they make network, he could come back
fingers
any
crossed.
number
Then
of times. Yeah.
I mean,
'Cause that
Captain
guy's great.
Boomerang was on Arrow and Flash.
Well, and that's the other thing too. Because of things like Flash and Legends of Tomorrow, John Constantine could live in that world.
oh, if he's just on Legends of Tomorrow, I'd be super on board with that.
But I mean, that,
Just turn that into Justice League Dark.
I'm happy about that because I had
Oh, yeah.
I had some issues with that show in some places, but I thought he was really good. That
Yeah.
guy, as John Constantine.
Justice League Dark. That's the movie that's like kind of happening, isn't it?
Yeah, Guillermo wrote a draft of it. Guillermo del Toro wrote a draft of it. We don't really know what's happening with it. We know that there's a script for it though that del Toro wrote,
Okay.
but he's also busy.
Yeah.
'Cause
Why?
He's got the Strain, and then
Okay.
he's putting out Crimson Peak soon, and then he's working on Pacific Rim too.
Woo! Pacific Rim 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on board for that.
And he's
Anything
still
with more
trying.
kaiju.
He's still trying to make a Frankenstein movie. I know that's one of his dream projects. And cast
Did he make?
Doug Jones as the monster.
He didn't make the Wolfman movie.
No, he did not.
Okay.
Joe Johnston did that.
That's right. With Benicio del Toro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Donovan, what's something you want to talk about?
Something we've talked about on the show before, as a recommendation, but I think it would be an awesome television show is Manifest Destiny.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
To recap for the viewers, it is an alternate history of Lewis and Clark not doing westward expansion, but clearing the world.
I mean, it is a little
of-
bit westward expansion,
But
But there
by
are
route
monsters
of-
in the way.
They're clearing monsters for the U.S. government with an
Exactly.
expendable crew.
Yep.
I think that
It would make a great show.
I mean, the elevator pitch would be Lewis and Clark monster hunters,
Yeah.
right? I mean that's and
Holmes and Grow Witch Hunters. Now you've got Lewis and Clark Monster Hunters.
monster hunters and Sacagawea, coolest.
Badass monster slayer.
Sacagawea is
so
very
awesome.
cool.
She's Native American Buffy.
Yeah,
That's kind of
Pretty much,
she's
yeah.
a slayer.
she's so awesome.
Anyways.
Finding an actress to play that would be so key to the success of that show.
Yeah.
And I feel like, or it could. I mean, the thing is, it could be. If it's not a show, it could be a couple movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
You could do that in 2 movies.
Sure.
doing-
I mean,
or
there's
2 or
only
3.
well, by the time this comes out, there could be a 3rd volume out, but there's at the very least only 3 volumes.
But
of
I
it.
mean, like, think about it. You could parse up the Louisiana Purchase into like 3 sections and have them,
I think
keep the cool monsters. Not.
I
keep
think
the
that
cool
one could go either
monsters.
way. I feel like the expense of that would probably lead to movies
Yeah.
because that's pretty epic in its scope and also in the period setting.
The period setting is so.
Because actually,
cool.
HBO is doing an actual Lewis and Clark miniseries right now.
I hope it's secretly
Called
Manifest Destiny.
It's called Undaunted
How amazing
Courage.
would that be?
First
That's the name
episode.
for Manifest Destiny. Undaunted Courage would be. Oh my gosh! If that was after
First
what
episode,
that
they
is.
just play it like straight up, like period not documentary, but docudrama or whatever you want
end
to
of
call
the
it.
episode.
End of the
Plant
episode.
Zombies.
Plant zombies, or they just go straight into the Buffalo Minute
Buffalo
Centaurs.
Centaur.
Okay, yeah, I'm on board. You got
Right?
name.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah, no, that would be awesome. But instead, they're doing an adaptation of Stephen E. Ambrose's serious history book, Undaunted Courage.
Well,
That's going to be exciting. It's like the people who made Band of Brothers and John Adams
Sure.
doing that approach to Lewis and Clark. It's
Yeah.
an exciting story even
I mean,
without the monsters.
we
but it's
are-
also really exciting with monsters.
we are very biased living on the end of the Oregon Trail.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, if we live here, we made it. We
got
didn't
here,
We
guys.
didn't get dysentery.
We did it!
We didn't fall off the back of the wagon. We didn't get
Yep.
bit by the rattlesnake.
I got bit by a rattlesnate, but I made it.
Oh, we got the antivenom
Wow.
at Fort,
Yeah.
Fort Concord.
And
Yep.
we got here with a
Just in time.
surplus of bullets.
I got bit right before we got there, so that was good
Yep.
for me. I was like, I got bit. I was like, oh crap! I was like, oh wait, the fort's right there. We're good.
There
And
we go.
I forded all of the wagons.
Yep.
So
Like, never try to drive across the river. That is a fool's game.
yep, that's exactly right.
So
But we
we're-
might be really biased,
Yeah, we're a little
and I
biased.
feel like there's just not a lot of good Lewis and Clark content.
No, actually, I was really excited when HBO announced that because I thought nobody's really done that.
I mean, there's
story.
Lois and Clark, but it's really not the same story.
It's unfortunate.
It's very similar.
There's also was it Almost Heroes with Matthew Perry and Chris Farley?
oh, right. That exists.
Yeah,
Is that a Lewis and Clark thing?
that is a Lewis and Clark. They're trying to race Lewis and Clark to the Pacific Ocean in that
Right.
movie.
No way.
That is
Yeah.
the plot of that movie.
Oh my gosh.
You who directed that movie? Christopher Guest.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's doing a Netflix series? Did you hear
Yeah,
about
he
that?
is. Yeah, Christopher Guest
About
is
mascots.
Yep.
Oh, I'm so
Ooh,
excited.
interesting.
That's going to be cool.
We love you, Christopher Guest.
Yes, we do.
Even
You wanna-
if
you
you
wanna
have
come
6
on the
fingers
show?
on your right hand.
Christopher Guest?
That's
yes.
an actual thing. Did you know that?
That he has 6 fingers on his hand?
No.
I don't think it
The
is.
rest of it's CGI. Yeah, it's true. They just remove his finger.
I don't think that's true.
The CGI is them removing his sixth
Yes.
finger
I think
just
you
so they
can-
don't weird people
I
out.
think you've seen Princess Bride too many times.
That's not possible. That is not
Do we want to keep on?
possible.
Maybe we should keep on this thing about things that could be TV shows, maybe.
Okay.
Because I want to talk about Morning Glories by Nick Spencer, which
Yeah,
I've
talk about this
I've
more.
talked about it before. The elevator pitch for that is it's lost in a prep school. Mm-hmm. So a bunch of kids at a prep school, mysterious goings on.
Are they trapped in said prep school?
They aren't trapped, but I mean they're kids. They can't really go anywhere.
Then I
else.
wouldn't necessarily go Lost. I'd maybe go like Twin Peaks.
Yeah, Twin Peaks. I mean, Lost is the more. Although Twin Peaks is coming back, so
Yeah, it is.
yeah, that's very exciting. Yeah, so it's sort of Twin Peaksy. What's going on is a little bit more Lost-like.
Yeah,
I would
fair
say
enough.
that about it. But what's cool about that is Nick Spencer writes in seasons. So like the first 4 volumes, he called season 1,
Interesting.
and then it had its finale, and then season 2 started.
Cool.
So he's already making a TV show.
This
in
is always
comic
one of
book
those
form.
series I've meant to like get on board and start
Yeah.
reading, but I've
It's
never
an
gotten
image
around
book.
to. Yeah. So
I've had the first
trade.
volume on my shelf
Yeah,
for
that's
like
exactly
6 months.
it's the this is one of the first times this happened to me. I was like, oh, $9.99 for this new comic I hear is pretty good, and then I got totally sucked into Morning Glories,
Yeah, fair enough.
and it's really good. The art is gorgeous. Once again, I wish I knew who drew it. I know Nick Spencer writes it. I've talked about Nick Spencer on the show before. He's awesome. But yeah, I think that would make. It is a TV show. Like the game plan is there for you. He writes in arcs and finales and writes 2 episodes almost.
That's so awesome.
Grigoni, you got anything else you think would be an awesome TV show?
A TV show. I mean, something John, you and I have always talked about for as probably close to as long as I've known you is what is the TV show we'd want to make? It's Batman.
It's Batman.
Like there are several trades that we have in mind, like a 5-6 season epic of Batman on the TV show, live action, like just
like Daredevil kind of showed me the way.
Right.
I was like, that's it.
Yes.
That's what the Batman. And I've said this many times. Like my goals as a filmmaker or whatever. That's it. I could walk away at that point if I got to make my 6 season Batman epic. I'm just like, I'm done. I've told my story. To which as I'm saying this, I now, because I looked at my list, see the one thing I would want to do after that. Which is make Batman Beyond.
Oh man, a live action Batman Beyond.
So the first season, would be year 1.
Well, we've talked about this. We also talked about Long Halloween.
I feel like that'd be season 2.
I feel like we've seen the origin of Batman, starting him already having gone through year 1, and we could use flashbacks as well if you wanted to start him. Like
starting out kind of like super in media race. We've already got the rise of the like super crime is kind of on the rise, but the gangsters are still around, so we still have to kind of deal with that in the first 2 seasons.
And he's still figuring things out. Like he's put the Batman persona together, but he's not quite there yet. He's not yet the Bat God that he. I mean, basically, it is by the end of the series he becomes. I mean, it's like to quote Richard Matheson a little bit here. He becomes legend by the end of it.
Right.
You watch a man become a myth. Is sort of was always my idea of it over the course of those things. He transcends, and so I almost. I mean, I could get super nerdy here, and I don't want to reveal everything that I have because, like, there's a delusional part of me that's like, well, what if I make it and I said on here how it ends? But I know exactly what the last shot of the series is.
What is it, John?
I can't tell you.
Come on,
I'm not going to tell you. It's too good. I'll tell you off mic.
Okay.
How about that?
It's Alec Baldwin on a rooftop. Cape comes out behind him.
Can I honestly say I always thought Alec Baldwin, like early '90s Alec Baldwin, would have been the perfect Batman. Well, he would have been an amazing
Why didn't they do
Batman.
that? I mean, they did Shadow, which is great.
I always thought that was the consolation for not casting him as Batman.
That was the consolation prize.
Because he got to kind of be Batman.
What do you think? Okay, this is a side story.
Sure.
Schumacher doesn't direct in '95.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going alternate history on this?
Yeah, okay.
Alec Baldwin is cast as Batman.
Okay.
Who would you want to direct that movie in order for it to succeed in 1995?
In 1995.
Tough one.
Okay.
Besides,
so
Spielberg or like.
Well, so I was
mean,
just gonna say. I can just go anything with this. Like it doesn't because this guy wouldn't do it. But this is who I'd like to see do it.
Who?
Ridley Scott.
Oh yeah.
Ridley Scott's Batman. Think about like the way he made Blade Runner. That approach to Gotham City.
That'd be so sweet.
Oh my god.
Now I just want to see Ridley Scott's Batman Beyond.
Why wouldn't he do it?
Batman Ridley Scott's Batman Beyond would be incredible. Because then it just is
and
Blade Runner with Batman.
The podcast is over.
Right.
Because I think there's no
we
question.
found the topper, people.
There's no question that they took a lot of influence from Blade Runner.
Of course.
Yeah. And so to have the man himself do Batman Beyond.
Oh.
I mean, I think that, if people don't know, sorry, we're Ridley Scott devotees on
If they did that today, you still have Alec Baldwin as old man Bruce Wayne.
Well, actually, can I talk about one of the things I always wanted to see if they made a Batman Beyond movie? Michael Keaton.
As old man Bruce Wayne. Oh, that'd be good. That'd be pretty sweet.
Not Val Kilmer as old man Bruce Wayne?
George Clooney?
No.
He was.
I don't know
he
if we
already was old man Batman.
Was.
That's the thing. That movie should have been Batman Beyond.
I don't know if we've talked about this on here, but I'm a Keaton Batman fan.
Sure, yeah.
Big time. And Keaton's my Batman. So to see that, and I mean, especially like Birdman era Keaton now as grizzled. I mean, you'd have to age him up even a little bit than he is now.
Yeah.
But I think you could do it, and to see him play the grizzled,
the
broken down, he would kill it. He'd be so good.
Who do you cast as Terry McGinnis?
Well, that's the thing. I think you'd have to go with an unknown, wouldn't you? I mean, because you've got the marquee name of Keaton returning to the role, and then then that would allow you to find a new kid that could be Batman.
Sure.
And I think that would be the way to go because I just don't. I mean, I just can't think of anybody who would really fit that.
Yeah, not off the top of my head. No.
And then the big question is like, does Burton direct it?
No.
No?
No, that would be. That has to
That
have
would
such
be the
a
kiss
like
of death for that
futuristic kind of dystopian tone that I don't think Burton can
Ridley
nail without
Scott would
going
have to do
super
it.
weird.
Ridley Scott
Ridley Scott would have to do it.
directing Michael Keaton in the Batman Beyond movie would be incredible.
Yeah, no, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's our pipe dream right there, people.
If you have any connections that could get us closer to this,
Yeah.
right in.
I don't know how this would even begin. I know that there was a period of time
write
where they
the script.
legitimately
That's how it
were
begins.
developing a Batman Beyond live action movie because Paul Dini had been hired to write it. Paul Dini and Bruce Timm were commissioned to develop a Batman Beyond script. I don't know how far they got. I don't know. But they were actively writing.
That's not happening right now.
That's not happening now.
No.
But there was a period of time, I think it was prior to Nolan even, that they were developing this.
That would be so cool.
Because there was a lot of debate about what do we do with the Batman franchise.
Right.
And one of the ideas
you
was
go to the future.
yeah, and that'd be awesome.
Why
I
don't
mean,
we run
obviously now
Hollywood?
you with this track.
Said, why don't we run Hollywood?
Do you want the actual answer or the funny answer?
I want to just cry. Is what I want.
We're all going to die eventually, and the universe will eventually blink out of existence,
What is
making
that-
our
what-
lives meaningless.
What does that have to do with us running Hollywood?
Oh no, Donovan just said he wanted to cry.
Oh, I see.
I like getting existential, John.
So let's talk. I want to talk about another comic I always thought would make an amazing TV show. Is Why the Last Man?
Oh yeah,
I've thought. I almost put it here.
Yeah.
I feel like having basically one male character in that would not the
plus
I
the
mean,
monkey.
I
Plus
guess
the
it was the
monkey.
I just feel like I don't know how you
for animal reasons played by a girl monkey though. So
yeah.
Because male monkeys are very aggressive.
I don't know.
Wouldn't that
who
be
would say
exci-
yes to that? It would be awesome. I mean, I'm not saying that.
that'd be
'cause I
really
don't
exciting.
think
People talking about there's not enough women represented. Well, here's a thing where it's all women except for that guy. Because I know they've talked. There's been a lot of talk about developing it as a movie, but when I read it, it always felt to me like an ongoing saga.
Because it's like a road picture.
Yeah.
And it's like seeing that over the course of a season would be, or seasons.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's another thing where you could start just bringing volumes together as seasons. I mean, look at what they're doing with The Walking Dead, where they're just like,
Yeah.
then this is this volume, and this is this volume, and this is these two volumes put together. And yeah,
Right.
obviously, there's quite a bit more
Game
of
of
The Walking
Thrones,
Dead.
same way, but with
Exactly.
the books.
I feel like that's becoming the trend on television. I think that's great, where we're taking these. We now have the ability to make these series that would have only made sense as movies in the past, just because of how big they are and with the money. I mean, something like Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones could only happen when it happened.
Can I pitch you the show I want to see?
Sure.
There's been talk about this being a movie for the longest time, but I want to see it as a show. Runaways.
Oh, that was definitely one of mine as well.
I want to see, because Marvel for the TV doesn't necessarily have the limitations that Marvel in the movies has in terms of like what characters they can pull from and stuff.
Right.
So because we've kind of got everything, and Marvel will probably cage it so that like if they want to fit it into the MCU, they won't necessarily pull from everything.
Right.
But because they can, it kind of opens them up a little bit more to get the different like corners of the Marvel universe that you get with Runaways, having every kind of, you got a
Yeah.
mutant character, you got a super scientist, you got a time traveler, and all of their parents are supervillains, and all these kids kind of like break away from their families going, we want nothing to do with that, and they go on the run.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It would make an awesome TV show. We can just keep talking about the things I want to do as a filmmaker. One of them
Sure.
was to make the Runaways movie. And to me, that first Runaways movie is that first, like the omnibus.
The volume, yeah.
Because that, from beginning to end, feels like a movie.
Yeah.
It has, it's 3-act structure.
But-
the end of that with them in the leapfrog, that feels like the end of the movie.
Keep on running, yeah.
Yeah, and you just leap that frog right into the camera.
Credits.
And just go to slam Runaways up on screen, and then play "My Generation" by the Who over the end credits.
Oh, that's not bad. I don't know, like,
And then you've got to. I mean, you can do like a trilogy because then just go to that next omnibus as your second movie.
Victor Mancha, Son of Ultron, go.
Well, Ultron exists now. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not impossible that could be the case. And think about like that thing kicks off almost like a movie. Like it has like a pre-credit sequence.
Yeah.
And the way that ends, I don't want to spoil it for people, but that'd be rough. It'd be the dark second chapter.
Oh yeah.
And I had a different Who song that I wanted to play at the end of that. Like every movie would have its Who song. Is the idea?
Just like
was it
the,
behind?
Law
I think
and
I
Orders.
think I wanted to play Behind Blue Eyes at the end of it.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Pinball Wizard.
Yeah, Pinball. That's the third movie. It's Pinball Wizard.
It ends on Pinball Wizard. Play that silver balls.
Yeah.
From Soho down to Brighton.
I must have played them all.
Oh,
The
okay.
deaf dumb blind kid sure plays a mean pinball. Yeah.
Clearly, you guys know the Who better than I do.
Yeah. The Who's one of my favorite bands. So.
Somewhere my father is going, what have I taught him?
Yeah,
Nothing?
yeah. And my father's like, yes! Yeah, I was raised on Who albums. So, but also, like, clearly Brian K. Vaughan is a Who fan, because there's a lot of Who references in the Runaways comic.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a line where somebody literally does say, I hope I die before I get old.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't one of them called My Generation? I think one of the volumes is called that.
Maybe. I know one of the volumes is called Live Fast, Die Young,
Yeah.
but that's more like
Oh,
James
no,
Dean.
no. It was Bob O'Reilly I wanted to play at the end of the second movie.
nice.
So that's got
I was going
Teenage
to ask
Wasteland.
if that's what that. Yeah.
That was it, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Runaways.
Runaways should be adapted into something. It's one of the best comics that Marvel's ever put out.
I think so.
I mean, yeah, we're going to do a whole Runaways episode at some point.
I should hope so.
Somebody would have to read more.
Yeah, have you read any of it?
oh, wow.
You just shook your head. That's so sad. It's like the best comic ever. I mean, it's
you guys
legitimately
keep
one of my
telling me
favorite. The Brian K. Vaughan run of it, I should
Yes.
specify,
And
is
the
one of
Joss Whedon bit afterwards.
and
But
the Joss Whedon bit afterwards is good, but even that, as good as it is, feels a little bit more like okay. It's a fun little story, but it's not. It doesn't have quite the impact that the Vaughn
Right.
stuff does. But that is one of my favorite comics ever.
it's really
No
good.
aversion to it.
Yeah.
No time for it. That's
Okay,
my
you have
issue.
the Marvel app now, though, so you have kind of no excuse.
No, I have it with me.
Yeah,
It's not a no money for it. It's still a no time
Sure.
for it.
we're
Just
gonna
stop everything else you're reading.
Yeah.
and
Well,
just
that's why
read
we're going to do the
Runaways.
episode and force you to read it.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I'm gonna take my 2 weeks paid vacation.
to go read Runaways.
Yeah.
Oh, please. You could plow through that in like 3 nights.
Ooh, that'd be. Yeah, I could.
A comic
All right.
I've talked about
Challenge
on
accepted.
a comic I've talked about on here, and you want to talk about Twin Peaks sort of vibe is Nailbiter. I've talked about on here about a town. It's about a town here in Oregon, a fictional town.
That has generated a bunch of serial
12
killers.
of the worst serial killers in the world have come from this town, and it's basically about like what is it about this town? Is it something supernatural? Is it what is it that's making all these people?
TV show or movie?
Oh, TV show, unquestionably.
Because it's still on TV shows, right?
Yeah, I think so. 'Cause
Yeah,
that-
we're kind of bouncing around.
Yeah, I mean, Runaways, I feel like could go either way. This
Yeah.
feels like a TV show because it. I mean, it was initially pitched to me, and this is the elevator pitch: is Seven meets Twin Peaks.
Wow.
Yeah,
What a pitch that is.
and the title comes from the central antagonist who would kill people and then eat their bite their nails off, like eat their fingertips.
Yeah, no thanks.
So he was the nail biter. So literally the comic opens with a SWAT team bursting in, and he's chewing a guy's the fingers are in his mouth, and they've all got their guns on him and stuff. And it's a super messed up comic. But then that guy gets off. Somehow he gets
They
by
caught him
biting
eating
people's-
some guy's fingers.
they couldn't prove he killed the guy. They could just prove he just was biting the fingers, which is creepy, but not necessarily a crime.
Cannibalism?
I don't know. I think it's what is it? It's like. Oh, there's a thing for it. There's something about messing around with dead bodies that's a crime, but it won't. You don't go to jail for it necessarily.
Necro shenanigans?
Necroshenanigans. I think that's the legal term.
That's
for
the name of my band.
Desecrating a body, I think is what it is.
Sure, desecration.
Yeah. But anyway, so then he moves back to the town, and that's sort of the impetus for.
And he's our main character?
No, he's the antagonist. The main
Okay.
characters are a military intelligence guy who comes to the town. He's brought to the town by a friend of his because he says something crazy is going on here. And then the sheriff of the town, who was the high school sweetheart of the nail biter.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's good stuff. It's really good stuff. Joshua Williamson writes it. Really cool book. Really creepy kind of. If you're into that kind of stuff like I am, like Seven or Silence of the Lambs.
Cool.
Or Hannibal. I mean, that's the other thing, too. Like seeing a show like Hannibal, which I know has been canceled, sadly. But once again, this would be like an FX show or something like that. I think could really work, that sort of serial killer horror show.
Isn't there some rumor going around that like Hannibal might get picked up by like Hulu or Netflix or something?
Unfortunately, the actors have been released, and the main actor has already found another show.
Oh.
So, I mean, maybe at some point, or there's been talk of movies and stuff as well. So,
Didn't they already? Because wait, I don't. Maybe I don't know.
I mean, the thing about it is the next storyline that they have to do is Silence of the Lambs.
Did they not do Red Dragon?
They just did Red Dragon. The
Oh,
last
snap.
season is Red Dragon. So the next
awesome.
part of the story would be Silence of the Lambs,
That
which
would be
I
pretty
really
cool.
wanted to see Brian Fuller's take on that, and I really wanted to see Clarice introduced into the world of that show. but it doesn't look like that's going to happen as much as I would love to see that happen. I really want them to get to Hannibal.
Sure.
Like, I wanted them to finish the saga of Hannibal on
Right.
TV.
That would have been cool.
Because I know Brian Fuller, the creator of the show, had 5 seasons of it mapped out. He got through 3, and 3 was Red Dragon. So then I assume that the 4 and 5 were Silence of the Lambs and Hannibal.
That would have been sweet.
Yeah.
It's been on for 3 seasons, or had 3 seasons?
Yeah, season 3 ended a while ago now, but as we're talking, it's just about to end. So, but it's a fitting ending from what I gather from Brian Fuller because it ends the novel Red Dragon. So
Okay.
there's closure.
That's
but
one of those shows that, I've always my intention was always to let it finish and then
now's the time.
go through all of it at once.
It's so I don't know. We're now just talking about television shows that I watch, but it's so beautiful and terrifying and awesome. Like it's maybe the best shot show I've ever seen on TV. The
Cool.
cinematography alone.
I'm looking forward to watching it.
Yeah, I highly recommend that.
Though, is this one of those shows that's going to make me go a little bit insane if I shotgun it all, like Breaking Bad was, or?
No, well, it's interesting because it's not slow, but it's very deliberate, and it's very almost literary in the way it's presented. So
Cool.
It's not gonna get the pulse racing necessarily.
But it'll give you that creep factor, like The Following or something.
Yeah. And slowed down from that even because the following is more like, no, we gotta go. People are shooting guns and stuff. This is more like, what does it mean to take a life? And
Wow.
yeah,
Fair enough.
yeah. The nature of death and evil, and
Which
things
is actually
like that.
a
You'd
pretty
love it. It's very like Lovecraftian in a lot of ways.
But that's a pretty good segue into one thing that I know is they're working on some kind of film adaptation, but I really want to see it, and that's X-Force.
I was going to talk about X-Force. That was one of the things that
what it means to take a life is like a big segue into these are the mutants who sometimes you got to kill guys.
they wield death, in a way. Yeah, they're I remember they were first pitched to me as the Black Ops X-Men.
Yes, that's exactly
which
it.
is they do the black bag stuff that's too dark for the X-Men. No.
Sometimes you got to kill Apocalypse,
And here's the thing about it,
even if it's a kid.
It's so good.
Apocalypse Solution is that first trade is so riveting. Of the who was writing that run?
Is that Remender? No, that's the Kyle Yost. Chris Kyle. Is it Kyle Craig and Chris Yost? I think are their names.
I think so.
Yeah. That is so good. I actually met Chris Yost at Rose City Comic Con and got him to sign that volume 1 of that. Man, he's a screenwriter as well, so he could write because he wrote.
That'd be awesome.
He wrote Thor: The Dark World.
Oh, really?
So yeah, it's very possible that he could end up writing an X-Force movie as well.
That would be so sweet.
And with,
no, actually, the Apocalypse Solution was Remender.
Okay, that was Remender.
Yeah.
Well, that was
the
great.
Yo stuff before that was still really, really good though.
Oh, that stuff's great.
But the Apocalypse Solution stuff specifically was Remender.
Okay, yeah. Some of that X-Force stuff is great. That was Uncanny X-Force.
Yes, that was
the
Uncanny
Remender
X-Force.
stuff because it was just X-Force when it was
Right.
Kyle and Yost. X-Force would be, and one of the things that the Deadpool movie coming out kind of says that they're willing to go down the different routes.
They're willing to make an R-rated superhero movie.
Yeah, so why not X-Force then?
Sure. Well, I think Deadpool gives us a pretty good if we got a post-credit sequence in Deadpool, just look, we're putting a team together. Mm-hmm. Hugh Jackman rolling up. I know he's not necessarily going to be our Wolverine forever, but
right. But I would love to see Hugh Jackman lead an X-Force movie.
That'd be so awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the first R-rated superhero movie.
with the Wolverine.
The Wolverine, if you count it.
Well,
that R?
if you
director's
count
cut.
James Mangold's director's cut, James Mangold made an R-rated movie and then they cut it down to a PG-13.
Which director's cut is
I've seen the director's cut.
amazing.
It's amazing.
it's
yeah.
it's
so
it's
good.
the one you want to watch.
Yeah.
If you're gonna watch it, that's the Wolverine.
I felt like as I was comprising this list, I was like, man, do I need to see more Wolverine? Because we got that movie that was so good, and I
was
love Wolverine
quintessential Wolverine movie.
stuff.
now
but we kind of been
we are gonna see Old Man Logan.
What
Yeah,
is this happening?
absolutely. You don't know about this?
No,
That's-
you're blowing my mind right now, John.
This will be Hugh Jackman's swan song, and it's going to be Old Man Logan.
Oh my
after Apocalypse. They're
god!
doing that?
After Apocalypse, James Mangold, who directed The Wolverine, is going to be directing Old Man Logan.
So
How do they
cool.
even do that without all the Marvel stuff?
I don't know. I mean, like The Wolverine is the Frank Miller samurai
Sure.
stuff. This is going to be an Old Man Logan. So I mean, they'll take their,
Right.
but it's going to be primarily based on Old Man Logan.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh man.
And then from what I gather, it's going to be the last time Hugh Jackman plays him. And if he's going to go out on something, why not Old Man Logan?
Yeah, I mean,
Hell
that makes,
yeah.
That only makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
You've seen the character from bar fighting in Alaska and the first X-Men
to
movie.
wandering the post-apocalyptic wasteland of like the supervillains won, and now
Yep.
he's got to go
my
across the country for
Yep.
some reason.
Yep.
Oh, that makes me a little sad that we're not going to see him teaming up with like Zatoichi Hawkeye.
Right.
But
It still
Were
could
you really holding out for that?
Blind Swordsman Hawkeye, that was one of my favorite parts of that comic.
I
Yeah,
mean-
me too.
Yeah.
I mean, but I'm also a Hawkeye super
Sure.
fan. So
It's awesome, but I feel like there's still
Though
a
I
lot
am a
you
little
can
glad
do.
because what they did with the Hulk in that comic was a little like,
Oh no,
like,
they
weird.
confirmed that they've got the Hulk for it.
No.
Marvel gave him over.
Have you read Old Man Logan?
I've read everything.
See, you just said you didn't read The Runaways, so
Yeah, I duped you.
duped you. So what were we talking about? Other
We're talking about
things that could be
television
cool
shows. You talked about X-Force.
I want that as a movie.
Me too.
Oh, as a movie. Well, I've got
We're
television shows.
bouncing back and forth.
Because
All right.
something else I want to talk about potentially as a TV show is, have you read Thief of Thieves? It's
I know of it.
It's
I
another
haven't-
Robert Kirkman book. It'd just be cool to see like an Ocean's 11 style heist on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got that a little bit with Leverage.
Yeah, but I
was
mean,
fun.
this is maybe a little bit more Michael Mann, I guess, where it's like it's a little bit grittier than like a Leverage.
Sure.
So I mean, I guess Ocean's 11 or like Heat or Thief for those who have seen Michael Mann's first film, Thief, which is fantastic.
Television shows I want to see.
Yeah.
You guys haven't heard me talk about this comic before,
Okay.
Ever?
ever.
I have something I'm looking at, and I just wondered if it's not going to be this, but yeah,
Rachel Rising.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah.
that would make an amazing TV
That
show
TV. I mean that
because that feels like it's written like a TV
It
show.
really
And
does.
a lot of like it has that kind of momentum to it.
You know what
That
TV
sh- A
show
movie
that
would not
would
be able to
remind me
encapsulate
of?
it.
no.
Fargo with a supernatural twist.
Absolutely.
Is what that would
Yep.
Oh
kind of
my
remind
gosh,
me of.
that would be incredible.
Out in the snow, this sort of weird, kind of quirky vibe to it, but it's serious and dark and really
Right.
messed up in
Yep,
places.
yep.
I
Yeah.
just feel like that could be.
And isn't Fargo just the best show?
I mean,
It's great, yeah.
it's Fargo's
and
my
I
favorite
know
show,
this
so.
would never,
Throw supernatural on that, and I'm
I know this would never play it with audiences now, but if I had my way, it would also be shot in black and white.
Oh, sure. Well, they shot the pilot, or they didn't shoot it, but they tried putting the pilot of The Walking Dead in black and white.
weird.
It didn't.
Yeah,
no one will ever air a show in
I
black
feel
and
like,
white because
though,
they claim
Rachel
people will think there's
Rising-
something wrong with the television.
Rachel Rising lends itself to it more. Even when like commercials roll up
Yeah.
and the commercials are in color.
People,
I don't know if any TV show, regardless of how well it's adapted from the comic, I don't know if any TV show will ever lend itself to black and white.
I mean,
don't
if
know.
somebody made something that was like 1940s and actually this is something that would make a cool movie. I'm just thinking of now is like You Have Killed Me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That only makes sense in black and white. That lives in the world of black and white.
Sure.
That lives in the world of film noir.
But I don't know if that's necessarily a TV show.
Not that specifically, but I'm
Right.
saying if somebody was to make a TV show in that kind of setting.
I could see another movie in black and white. Like if Rachel Rising was a movie of some kind, I could see them doing that in black
But
and white.
the issue is
How long it? Yeah.
Rachel Rising wouldn't work as a
It's too big, yeah.
Yeah. No, I
'Cause
agree.
we don't even know. We have no idea where the end of that is coming.
Gorgoni always says he knows everything about
No,
the
but he
whole
doesn't know
comic.
how many volumes they're going to do of it, or how long it's
true.
going to take to get to.
And if you've looked at Terry Moore's previous work, he usually has quite a bit to fill out in a story.
Sure, yeah.
You know.
I mean, Strangers in Paradise went forever.
Yeah, only like 9,000 issues. and Echo is huge as well. But
Echo's
man,
really
Rachel Rising as a television show, I would buy a TV just for that. I don't have a TV right now.
Yeah.
But I would buy a TV just for, I mean, that would be amazing.
Yeah. One of the things I thought you might be talking about,
What?
and I think we talked about this a little bit on the episode we did about it. Archie.
Nope. I thought about this. I
You don't-
distinctly didn't put it down.
You didn't? Okay.
And here's why.
As a TV show? This is
As a TV show, as a movie, as anything.
Okay.
Because the Mark Waid, Fiona Staples run
Yeah.
right now
Yeah.
is so brilliant
Oh, yeah.
and so good
Yeah.
and uses that medium so incredibly that anything else would feel like a cheap knockoff of what they're doing. And I couldn't stand it. That's also why I didn't put down Afterlife with Archie.
Yeah,
and
I didn't see that.
good as in the medium that they're in that I don't think I could stomach them in another medium.
Fair
That's what
enough.
I'm saying. I mean, I thought about all of them because I'm enraptured with all of them right now.
Yeah.
I don't think I could do it.
I think they could do.
What was your argument? I'm sorry, I don't mean to.
My
derail
argument
you.
was to adapt. I mean, you'd have to wait a while, but do the Wade Staples, or at least take that approach of like these are these characters, and it's serious, and there's fun and stuff, but we're telling Archie stories that kids can relate to on TV. I don't know. I think it'd be fun.
I feel
Because I feel like you're. Excuse me, as I put on my business hat.
Do it.
I feel like you're.
That is a fancy hat, John.
your parents will appreciate the throwback nature of it's Archie and Jughead and all these people. But then if you write stories that the kids can actually relate to and set in a modern context,
So you're taking a Girl Meets World scenario.
but better.
But here's where that falls apart. I feel like is one of the reasons why this specific run on Archie is so good. Is because how many other comics are doing something like that?
Yeah.
How many TV shows are high school love stories?
Not as many as there used to be.
No,
It's
but
not
there
like
still
the
have
heyday
been.
of the 90s when we had like Dawson's Creek and Gilmore Girls.
No,
Yeah,
but
I'm
it's
trying
not
to bring.
so
I'm trying to
fa-
bring that back, you guys.
It's not so far away from that.
No, I'm
people
trying to
have
bring
forgotten
Freaks and
those.
Geeks back. Is what
Fair
I'm trying
enough,
to do.
yeah.
I don't think it's been far enough away from that stuff. It's going to feel like it's going to get lumped in with that.
I don't know. I think if you had the right showrunner, that could really work.
I don't.
I mean, I
just
guess you
don't-
could argue that about any of these things. If
Sure,
you have the
yeah.
right person
Depends
running
on who's
it.
running it.
Yeah.
Is that our new phrase for
That's
this
what
episode?
it'll be when I start a TV podcast.
Yeah.
That depends on who's running it.
I just feel like this wouldn't.
There are a few shows you can say that about where like, is this true? Well, it depends on who's running it.
Walking Dead.
Who knows who's running it these days?
Yeah.
That's not
Nobody
true.
is.
Hey, they're going into their third season with the same showrunner. So.
Shane is running it.
Um,
Anyways, I just feel like I love all that stuff. I would be very apprehensive if I heard they were announcing that. Another thing that I didn't put on my list, maybe you guys put on yours, but again, lives so beautifully in the medium. I don't know how they would do this. Is Saga?
Oh, I thought about it.
Saga's just too bonkers in my head.
It's just like
Oh, I think it could make. An
I don't
awesome
think
movie.
they could ever do it justice.
no. It
Oh, I think
couldn't.
they-
And that's
once
my
again,
issue.
I think
Maybe
they
it's-
could.
maybe- maybe
I
the
don't think
common
they would.
denominator is
But I think
Fiona
they could.
Staples. Maybe she's the common denominator in all this.
No, because I don't think
All my
I don't think
stuff
it's
over.
not the same issues there.
No,
but
it's not. But but somehow she's made it.
I could picture what an awesome Saga movie looks like, but
I can't.
I can't
Really?
either.
This is too like I can't see a studio doing it justice.
Once again,
Ever.
take the studio out of it. I'm just talking purely from an art. I could see that topping mediums to be a cool
The breadth
movie.
and the width.
if you
of
got
what
the
you've
business
covered
people
there.
out of it, yeah.
And I guess there's the pessimism and realism in me that's like you're never going to be able to do that.
Well, no, but I'm just saying, like, it could be translated to the other medium.
Maybe I don't know. I
I
don't
mean,
see it.
if you take a mocap, you'd have to use heavy motion capture for most of the characters.
Yeah, again, maybe this just speaks to your love of film more than mine, but like I cannot see that being translated well.
Even a cartoon or something, I feel, or like an animated.
I mean, what I'm pitching is basically a movie that's like probably like 70% animation to a certain extent.
Like Avatar level of
Yeah, it would have to
Fully
be
animated.
that. But the problem is then you also have to take it into an R-rated context. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, financially it's a huge problem.
yeah.
But I'm just
I
talking.
know-
I'm just
even if
backing
that
out to the
wasn't-
purely the jumping from one artistic medium to another.
even if
it
that
could be
wasn't
really
an
cool.
issue, I don't think that could work.
I don't know. I think it could be done, but
I
like I
don't-
said, it would not in the climate we're in or the studio system that would have the money that would be required to make it.
Fair enough.
The one I do want to see,
Okay.
feel like it could be a great television show,
Mm-hmm.
would be an animated show. I want to see Calvin and Hobbes.
Yeah.
I want to see a Calvin and Hobbes animated anything.
I mean, isn't he notorious for never allowing that? or
Yes.
never allowing to-
Yeah, I know. I know there's the Bill Watterson
Yeah.
Hurdle.
hurdle.
But I'm kind of on his side.
Yeah?
Like I don't necessarily want to see that in any other form besides comics because that lives in my head. It lives in my imagination. I don't necessarily want it. Like I'm super apprehensive about the Peanuts movie for God's sake, and I know
Really?
that
'Cause
cartoons of that have existed forever.
Yeah,
But-
And the cartoons are great.
Sure,
Then those trailers have pretty much convinced me that that's going to be good.
we'll see.
It
But
looks like the approach. It's also written by Charles Schultz's sons, which also kind of gives me some faith.
yeah, and I don't know. Maybe if Bill Watterson crawled out of whatever cave he's hiding in,
Did you watch the documentary about him?
I really want to.
It's good. It's really good.
And like he consulted and was like heavily involved with making whatever adaptation of Calvin and Hobbes existed.
Well, I would say this is another scenario where, I mean, as I said before, you could say about anything, but if you got the right person behind this,
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That one would
and you'd
make
have
me
to figure
super
out,
antsy.
you'd have to really figure out the right artistic approach to it. I agree, it should be animation if you're going to do it. And if you found the right
action movie would feel weird.
I've just
Yeah, it
got
wouldn't work.
that would turn Garfield real quick.
But what I feel like it would do is it would be fun. It would be, you've got this playful aspect. You've got the imagination aspect and Spaceman Spiff and, all the things around that. But also the opportunity to be like a really poignant, thoughtful sort of piece. Like
That's
a beautiful
exactly-
look at a 7-year-old's look at the world, or however old Calvin is, would
I
be
agree.
a really, because that's what happens is when you get to the end of a page and that you're like, but this kid actually really gets it. This kid is seeing things more clearly than I see the things.
And that would be part of the reason I'm so apprehensive about it. Not on top of the fact that I just love those comics so much. They mean so much to me. They're a huge part of my childhood.
Yeah.
Seeing anyone's particular vision of how they think that comes together would make me super antsy. Because that's always the thing with any of these adaptations is you have kind of this construct of what it is to you in your head.
Sure.
So seeing someone else translate that into whatever this medium is, either they get it like I get it, or it's like, that's not how I saw it at all.
or the third option, which is always a cool one, where it's like, that's not how I saw it, but
that is, and that's always what you're kind of hoping for, to make it be new and refreshing.
or it's just like, wow, I never thought of it that way, but that's so right.
Right. And that would be, but my fear with Calvin and Hobbes would be that,
Sure.
someone
I
along the
agree
lines
that
not getting it.
there's a lot to be apprehensive about, but I as agree with you that there is potential there to be something really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, they made Where the Wild Things Are movie.
Yeah, which worked. I mean,
That's very true.
I mean, that was stunning how they were able to pull that off. Really.
That was also probably not a kid's movie.
No, I mean it's a Spike Jonze movie,
Right.
But I mean that's what I'm talking. It would take the kind of visionary filmmaker like a Spike Jonze,
I'm not saying give
who
this
has
to
such
Josh Trank.
appreciation for. Well, we shouldn't let
We
Josh
don't
Trank
speak
direct
of the connection to anything.
They killed him, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. You
I think
should
Kate
just.
Mara strangled that guy.
Rightfully so, yeah. From everything I've read, Kate Mara has every reason to strangle that guy. So here's one weird thing that I have, which is, as much as I like Arrow, this is what I'd like to see happen, and this is they never let me
It
do
not
it.
be Batman.
You introduce Hal Jordan. You dump all the other
Yes,
characters and it
yes,
becomes Hard
yes.
Traveling
Hard Traveling
Heroes
Heroes.
as a
I have
TV
that
show.
too. I have that too.
How
John.
amazing a TV show. They're just going town to town righting wrongs.
They've dropped the the Ferris era aspect.
There's so many references to Hal Jordan in both Arrow and Flash that there's no way he can't not appear. Like, he has to appear.
Here's
doesn't
the
he?
issue, though.
I don't know.
Is the arrow they've set up in that is not the Hard Traveling Heroes appropriate arrow.
I think he will be. Everything I've heard about this new season,
They've
they're
taken
they're
forever to
completely
get him
course correcting everything they've done in this last season.
I mean, I hope
as
so.
they should. Have you seen the new costume?
Yeah, it looks good.
I have not seen the new costume.
Oh yeah, and they're saying that he is the Green Arrow. This
He's
season.
becoming Ollie Quinn.
Yeah, as he should be.
Yeah, Queen.
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
Queen,
I
yeah.
was like, Ollie Quinn.
Yeah.
And then Ollie, as long as that show ends with him one-armed and pulling bow and arrow, the bow with his teeth, that's the most badass Green Arrow, right? I mean, just the guy. Superman cut his arm off. and
Why
he's still
we're not sure.
No, I've always wanted to see that story. I've never been able to find anything that explains what happened there. I mean, I think we know a little bit. You can kind of figure. I mean, there was some kind of congressional hearing in that comic
Yeah.
because they talk about. I love the description of when Batman testified in front of them, and he just laughed at them.
And scared the
He
crap out
scared
of them.
everyone. Well, because that's the thing. I mean, that's the thing about those characters is everyone else is like a god or superpowered, right? Realistically, those guys are psychos. Like they're just crazy guys in masks, and that's that.
And Bruce is the worst of them all.
Yeah, exactly. But like crazy grizzled Oliver Queen in that is so awesome. So yes, that's my insane idea of what I would like to see happen, which is it just becomes Hard Traveling Heroes, the TV show.
I know, I would love
You want
that
an
too.
insane idea, Jen?
Yeah,
Because I got an insane idea.
Go
for
for
you.
it.
Please.
that's what the show's about, right?
If you want an insane idea for this is the superhero movie that I want to see.
Yeah.
Above everything else.
Okay.
Incredible Hercules. I so badly
Not
Greek gods are like open domain. Anyone
Yes.
can use them. Why not
Sadly,
Marvel?
That's led to some stuff that's not
no,
good.
it's
yeah.
led to some
No, I agree with you.
What? Like
Hercules
what?
has earned it.
Hercules in New York.
Or there were 2
Whoa.
Hercules films out last year, I think, that were.
I don't know.
I like the Rock punching lions in the face.
I can't back that movie. I love The Rock.
Did you watch that movie?
I did watch that movie.
What was the
I
other
enjoyed
one?
it.
I've watched every film The Rock is in. I did not enjoy it.
What was the other one? I don't remember.
What was it called? The Legend of Hercules?
Yeah, something like that.
Kevin Sorbo?
No.
No, unfortunately.
That was, see, to me, that was the Hercules I grew up on. And then, obviously, the Disney movie as well. But
Yeah.
I used to watch Hercules, The Legendary Journeys all the time. Have you watched that recently, by any chance?
Great. It holds up.
It's not terrible.
I
I'll say that.
rewatched
show-
both It and Xena about like 2 years ago
I love
when
Xena.
they both appeared on Netflix, and I was just like, well, time to plow through both of these.
Yep.
Yeah, it seems to be that time.
I think the universe is giving me a sign. And so I did.
I thought this during Mighty Morphin Power Rangers when they put that
How'd
on.
that work out for you, John?
Not well, and I believe you also watched a fair amount of
I
that.
did.
And
I made it to the Green Ranger stuff because that was where my heart lies.
yeah,
But no,
that's
Incredible
about as far
Hulk
as I got to. Incredible Hulk.
done in the Marvel universe. We introduce so we've got our Norse pantheon.
Yeah.
Through the Thor stuff.
Yeah.
Find out the other pantheons are also kicking around.
I mean, the concern there being, how is it different than Thor? I mean, I know he's a different character and has different powers and stuff, but
Herc is such a different character because he's the rambunctious, he gets drunk a little too often. That gets him in trouble sometimes. He's the party guy. He's looking for a good time, but he's also out to do the right thing.
yeah.
Thor gets a little party in.
Sure, but
Ultron.
Herc is Herc will drink Thor into the table any day of the week.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that scene.
There was an issue of Hercules that you just gave me, Donovan, that features Herc attempting to drink Galactus under the table. That was one of this is exactly what the character is all about. He's out to punch bad guys, but then have a big old beer afterwards.
There you go.
All right.
But team him up with Amadeus Cho and have them be on some kind of because
be
that's
cool.
the classic Greg Pak run of Incredible Hulk that happened right after World War Hulk.
I just haven't read any Incredible Hulk.
I know you haven't, and it disappoints me.
Yeah, I mean, just there's a
have it
lot
all,
of
no,
comics
it's right there.
Yeah, I have the app too. It's all on there.
Yeah, but him and the super genius Amadeus Cho traveling around
Hard traveling.
they're in a car sometimes, so no, not really. And Athena always poking in, being hey, what are you guys up to? You sure you should be going this way because you're trying to be heroes and keeping them on the right path and
Sure, yeah.
all this flashbacks with Hercules figuring out what the justification between who he is in the present and some of the mythological stuff and figuring out where he stands between mortals and gods. There's such an interesting story there with Hercules, and I would really like to see that on the big screen or a TV show, or I don't know. It'd be great.
Are there any characters maybe from the big two, or that you'd like to see that haven't been represented yet?
Yeah, there are 2 that came to mind on my list.
Okay.
Aquaman.
Sure.
Which
we know we're going to be getting soon.
yeah, but I don't want that Aquaman.
You don't want
You
Jason
don't
Momoa?
know anything about that Aquaman.
I don't want
aside
that
from one
Aquaman.
picture.
No. I want clean cut. I want before the fall Aquaman. I feel like what we're getting with Jason Momoa
It's very much like 90s
is
Aquaman.
going to feel like he's been through enough. I want to see what he's been through. I want to go with
You
the
want
shark
Arthur
journey.
Curry, the college years?
the college years. Yeah.
Him clean cut in a
Yeah.
sweater vest.
Prince of Atlantis,
Yeah.
But no, not quite back that much. But I want to see that.
There's a TV show. It's Dawson's Creek underwater. Dawson under the ocean.
No, I want.
Dawson's Atlantis.
Yeah.
I want to see
Dawson C.
Yeah.
less haggard Aquaman at first.
Okay.
If it's a TV show and he gets there, that's fine.
They tried to do that.
I know, but it didn't happen.
It did not happen. The creators of Smallville did make a pilot for an Aquaman.
Aqua
TV.
Lad, wasn't it?
No,
it was just Aquaman.
Aqualad's pretty cool though.
From Young Justice, yeah.
And from you, Gorgoni, you should read. It is The Brave and the Bold, number 54. It came out in 1964. It's the first appearance of the Teen Titans.
Oh. Yeesh.
You should read that.
Should I?
You should read that, and you'll love Aqualad more than
you sure?
anybody ever.
I don't know.
True
if you're-
story, right, John? You know what I'm talking about.
You know me. I'll talk. I would recommend everyone just skip ahead to the Perez Wolfman run.
Whoa, big talk. The other character that I wish.
I don't think I'm alone in that opinion by any means.
Well, you are at this table.
All right. Well,
I have no opinion on Teen
Yep,
Titans,
that means
so
you're outnumbered 1-1. That works somehow. The other character I wish was represented. I guess I have two. Sorry.
Okay.
Green Lantern.
Sure.
I want to see a live-action Green Lantern, something that works.
Yeah. Hal Jordan? Or
John
any
Stewart.
of them?
I feel like, actually, you know what I feel like, and this would be incredible. Netflix. I mean, we've talked about this a lot. The first Netflix is
Podcast not brought to you by Netflix.
Guy Gardner.
no. The first Netflix is Hal Jordan, and it ends with his death. That first season ends with him going too far and dying. Second season is Kyle Rayner putting it together.
I knew you'd get to Kyle
and restarting
Rayner.
the core. I think that would be an amazing 2-season thing.
I would go
Right?
Jon Stewart over Kyle Rayner.
No.
Oh, I would.
No, he's too much like, I have baggage. That's Jon
Interesting?
Stewart.
Is that what you're accusing him
Kyle
of?
Rayner is super interesting. He's the Green Lantern with fear.
Yes, I'm aware of
That's
this.
interesting, John. He's different than everybody else. If you want a cooler Green Lantern that has fear, go with Kilowog.
What is Kilowog afraid of?
Nothing.
Poozers.
Fair enough.
Nothing. He's
Is he afraid of poozers?
No, he just wants to
Or does
punch
he
him.
pity the poozer?
He pities the poozer.
Yep.
I pity the poozer.
No,
How did
I
nobody
would
cast
love.
Mr. T as Kilowog?
I would love Green Lantern.
He was Kilowog in the 18, basically, wasn't he?
He was.
Yeah. I just want to see a Green Lantern core. Like, I just want to see a movie that really focuses on the core.
Space
Whatever.
cops.
Yeah. I want Lethal Weapon in space. Isn't that what we all want?
Is that what you want? Lethal Weapon in space?
Yeah.
Well, I always
Well,
say
that's
this,
one
John. Everything is better in space. So yeah, let's put Lethal Weapon in
But
space.
I mean, one of the ideas I've heard that they've bandied about at DC is the idea of making a movie that has both Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart in it, and
That'd
then
be
that would
awesome.
feel like Lethal Weapon in space.
yeah.
Or they're just a couple. They're just partners. They're space cops, just protecting their sector. You know?
Yeah.
The other
We
character.
got to write you a ticket. It's a 5150. You know, we can't. You got to.
You're going too fast in a sublight zone.
Yeah. That's what I want to see. Just like day-to-day police work.
Listen, Mogo, you're gonna have to slow it down on those pastries.
Ganthet screwed me over on overtime again.
Yeah.
He won't approve it.
That Captain Sinestro, he's got a shifty look about him. I don't like it.
Yeah, Sinestro runs into problems with internal affairs. I don't know. We've been hearing some weird stuff about you dealing with some yellow power.
Yellow power. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm not even. I just need to get something from my cart.
No.
That's weird.
he's
We're in
not-
space.
He's not getting into a car. He's not a getting into a car. He's a get up on a soapbox and who can blame me kind of guy. You know?
Look, you all have done. If you were in my position, I'm telling you, it's the only way.
It was the only choice I had. I did what I had to do for the force.
I feel
For the core.
I feel like he's constantly giving that monologue.
Yeah.
We've heard it, man. It's a
No, it's
Dude,
great.
your name is Sinestro.
Yeah, I get.
We get it. You're evil.
We really should have caught that one. He also looks
on
like
my
the
home-
devil, which doesn't.
on my home planet, sinister actually
means hope?
happy.
Oh.
I don't know what it means.
Everything means hope.
The
in
last
DC.
thing, everything, yeah.
Yeah.
The last one, and I think it'd be cool as a couple movies, is the Kamala Khan Miss Marvel.
I was going to actually say that it potentially is a TV show.
I was just talking to this
I guess
with a
that'd
friend
be
the other night. Like, as a TV show, I think it does present some problems.
Yeah?
Just like showing her powers off in like a cool and like faithful to the comics kind of a way, I think for a television show presents some problems.
Yeah?
Just, I don't know. She's got like the Mr. Fantastic thing going on where she's like stretching and growing big and growing small. Like, there's a lot going on with her powers, and to really do it justice, I feel like we need a movie.
I don't know. I feel like we're getting there in TV, though.
We have introduced the Terrigen Mist.
That's true, but from a story aspect, sure.
True.
And she's definitely like going in on the
I don't know. Look at
Inhumans
what the
front.
Flash is doing with special effects.
But that's just a guy like making him into a blur.
No, I mean they do more than that. I mean he's running fast, but the special effects on that. I mean,
Sure.
They also made an entire CGI.
No,
grill.
that's true. And the Grodd fight was awesome.
and I mean
That Grodd fight.
I mean, they
maybe
haven't-
the best part of that season. Can we say that?
I don't know about that, but it's certainly up
What
there.
is better than Grodd fight?
Him holding his dying mom.
I mean for the emotional impact of that stuff.
Okay, I'm talking about something that was awesome, something that made you want to get up and rip your
Time
shirt
punching
off.
the space machine.
Supersonic punch.
But remember when he tried to supersonic punch Gorilla Grodd?
Yeah, I
Didn't
do
work.
remember that.
Didn't work.
When he's leaping out of the the time portal and he punches the space
That's
machine.
It. That's the
Okay,
that
that's
shot
right.
of him punching right at the camera.
Yeah.
Of him coming.
That was
that's
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, time punching the space machine.
Yeah. But just the way they filmed that was, and he comes out and you're like, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. These are the moments where I went, like, yes, the Flash.
He comes from the past to punch you in the present and send you back to the future.
That's the Grindhouse trailer about him.
Yes.
Barry Allen. They messed with the wrong Flash.
You killed his mom. Now prepare to die.
Those are my big. I feel like those are my big.
Yeah, I have a
Two
couple. Do you have some?
characters.
You were talking about Hercules, but do you have some characters that you would like to see?
I mean, Hercules, Amadeus Cho would be a big one for me. I love his kind of like the snarky, super genius character. In terms of the big two, I mean, I would really love to see a good Batgirl.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Like Barbara Gordon as...
I
Yeah.
was going to say
Yeah.
that too.
She would definitely be at
But-
some point introduced into that TV show that
yeah.
I've always talked about.
But the issue, yeah,
She
I was
actually
going to say
put-
the issue is.
I'll tell you the scene off mic, but she's part of that scene that I'm talking about.
Okay.
The issue with that is, I feel like right now in the comics, she's tied so directly to all the other Batman mythos.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to do a standalone series.
Sure.
Right. Just, you know,
I'd just like to see her in one of the Affleck movies, though.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Actually, that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Who do you think they're going to get to be Gordon in the Affleck movies? That seems like such big shoes to fill after Gary Oldman.
Bryan Cranston.
What?
He did the voice of Gordon in Batman Year One, and he's in Argo. Not impossible at
Not
all.
impossible.
They've already worked together.
Give that man a mustache.
Oh, he would bring such gravitas.
Oh.
Or also going on the Breaking Bad, Jonathan Banks, who did the voice in Arkham Knight, would make a pretty awesome live action Gordon as well.
Yeah, I think maybe he skews a little bit older than Cranston does.
True, but we also do have an older Batman. I mean,
That's
Cranston
true.
is
Yeah.
still older than Affleck. But
Man, Cranston.
Cranston would be my pick. That's who I would cast.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% on board with that.
I mean, like, actually, even kind of look at him at the beginning of Breaking Bad when he still had hair, and you fill out the mustache a bit more, and he had the glasses and stuff. He had sort of a Jim Gordon kind of look.
Gordon-esque, if you will.
I mean,
Yeah.
you put him in different outfits and stuff, but
Sure.
put him in a trench coat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I want him to have a pipe. Just the image of
I
him on
hate
like
this
on like the
episode.
rain
I
soaked.
hate this episode because
But
all these
you-
things that will never come true.
You want to know
That one's
the
possible.
comic I want to see turned into a movie?
Yeah.
Joss Whedon's Frey.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Written and directed by Joss Whedon
Of course.
or Drew
No.
Goddard.
Or Drew Goddard. But this was the kind of comic, it was a parallel to Buffy. It was kind of like the last Slayer story, if
It's
you will.
kind of like Buffy Beyond.
Yeah, basically, where it's like it's in the far future. The
Yeah.
Slayers are no more for some unknown reason. Because this was written like in season 4 or 5 of Buffy.
Yeah, it's somewhere in the late middle.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was before the end of the series, so they introduced
Right.
this thing called the Scythe, and it kind of
Yeah, 5
holds
or
the
6,
Slayer
I wanna say,
powers.
somewhere in there, yeah.
And then, like when we got into season 7 of Buffy, and we saw that show up in the show, and we were just like, "What is happening?"
Did you know what that comic was when you picked it up? By the way,
Frey? No,
Me
God, no.
neither. I just picked it up because it was a Joss Whedon comic.
Yeah.
I had no idea it had.
And there
any
was a cool
connection.
blue-haired female character.
I was
in the
just
front.
like, Joss wrote a comic? That's awesome. I'll pick it up.
Yeah.
This connects to Buffy. Like, as soon as they started talking about Slayers and stuff, I'm like, what the hell? I thought this was just like a thing.
"No, yeah."
I still need to read that.
Oh, yeah.
I
it's
was
really
told
good.
I hadn't watched Buffy at the time, and I picked it up, and I believe it was you, John. And you're like, "Don't read that."
Yeah, until you
Wait.
have.
And in the season 8 comic book of Buffy, where
Yeah.
like the continuing story, they
Yeah.
do some crossover
Yes, they
with Frey, which is super cool. But seeing Frey just done as a movie would be super
yeah.
awesome.
Oh, absolutely. I think that'd be tough because of the connections to Buffy.
No, it's definitely true.
Like, who owns the rights to that stuff? Is that a Fox property?
Did they do the movie as well?
Yeah, that's all. Buffy's all Fox.
Then I would assume, yeah.
Yeah. Oh no. So some characters. A character I would love to see a movie of is Martian Manhunter.
Oh man,
A
yeah.
whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
John Jones.
Yeah.
Is that what the new Matt Damon movie is going to be?
The Martian. Manhunter.
I don't
Is he
think
going to
so.
find the White Martians?
Kind of doubt it.
Another DC character who has had film adaptations, but I feel like could make something really cool.
Steel.
Yes.
You knew where I was going with this. Swamp Thing.
Ooh, yeah, Swamp Thing.
I love
be
Swamp
cool.
Thing. I've always really liked that character a lot. I've talked about that on here. It's one of the first comics I remember reading. Was that.
bring your evil here.
Yeah, there was a TV show in the 90s that I think was the closest to the comic of anything.
Go back and watch that show. He looks so goofy.
He looks goofy, but I'm saying in terms of the tone, that was closer than the movies and
Yeah.
stuff.
I mean, he made an appearance in the Doug movie.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. As we said before, there was definitely a Swamp Thing in that movie.
Yeah.
But there could be, I mean, and he, from what I gather, he's a part of Guillermo del Toro's Justice League Dark script,
Oh, that'd be cool.
as is John Constantine. Which just Matt Ryan. What's he? He's
Yeah.
Apparently, this is what he does now.
Who do you cast as Zatara?
Oh man, that's tough. Oh man, she's already. I was gonna say she's actually already playing Jessica Jones. Kristen Ritter would be an interesting.
Yeah.
she's got kind of the look for it. Boy, yeah, I don't know who that would be. I'm trying to put somebody to that. You know who?
What's her name? Played Scott Pilgrim's sister,
Anna Kendrick.
Anna Kendrick as Zatara.
Maybe she would make an awesome Batgirl. Actually,
Oh yeah,
she'd be a great Barbara Gordon. Yeah,
I could see that.
yeah.
She wouldn't be my first pick.
She's got that kind
For
of
either.
spunky, like, especially, yeah, like Batgirl at the beginning of her, you know.
Before being shot and paralyzed by the
Well,
Joker.
that tends to change people.
Put the damper on things.
Yeah. No, that'd be awesome.
Who do they just? Who is the wife in theory of everything?
Oh, Felicity Jones.
I feel like Zatara.
She could be a good
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Zatara.
Zatara.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, there's a lot of people who could
And
do it.
Batgirl, Tom Hardy.
Can Tom Hardy play everything? Yeah, I mean that's the answer. There's a movie coming out that has 2 Tom Hardys in it.
What?
Yeah, he plays twin brothers in a movie coming out,
God.
and I could not be more
Doppelganger?
excited about it.
If it's Doppelganger, I'm going to be so mad.
Oh, and he was almost he was supposed to be Rick Flag in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, still a little disappointed that he's not.
They got Joel Kinnaman, who's a really good actor.
And I'm still kind of not holding my breath on Suicide Squad, so we'll see about that.
I think Suicide Squad is going to be pretty good.
Wow. We'll see.
Well, we can talk about it next
Sure.
summer, and we'll see what my opinion is. But like right now,
Are we going to still be
I'm
doing
pretty-
this next summer? Do you think we're
We'll
going
see.
to get...
We'll see.
It's going to be tough getting over that
I'll
Christmas
be here.
hump.
I don't know about you two.
burn
I'd
down
meet
our
my new co-host,
Ooh.
operation.
Just me
Tom Hardy.
crying in a
And
corner.
Tom Hardy. Yeah, Tom Hardy's gonna play
Also
both you
starring
guys.
Tom Hardy,
Tom Hardy.
with Tom Hardy and Tom Hardy as Tom Hardy.
Hey, if
the
Tom Hardy
appearance
wants
of-
to take over for me, I'll be okay with that.
Yeah.
Whatever you want, Mr. Hardy.
We'd be okay with that too, John.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think our listenership would be okay with it too. But yeah, I would. But yeah, Martian Manhunter, Swamp Thing. I also had Miss Marvel as well. I really like Kamala Khan, and to see something done with that in whatever capacity that is, that'd be really cool. I'm trying to think about some other Marvel
gonna
characters
get-
who I haven't seen.
Namor.
No.
No,
No.
and doesn't Fox have him technically? I think he's an FF
Yeah,
character.
I think he's yes.
His level...
Wait a minute, that's how they fix the franchise.
They
Namor.
introduced Namor.
Well, they kind of need to bring in a new bad guy other than Doom at this point, don't they?
Didn't they vaporize Doom? So
Yeah, but whatever. I mean, you know how.
nope, I'm not talking about that movie. I am not.
I
talking
I almost
about
got
that
you
movie.
to talk about
Yep,
it.
Nope.
I almost got you there.
Putting the kibosh on it.
Technically, they vaporized him in an alternate dimension.
Nope, not talking about it.
What does that mean?
Is there
I
anything
feel
else?
like, we're going to get it, but Wonder Woman
Yeah.
hasn't ever been represented, and there could be some
Not really, aside from the
cool-
77 show. I mean, everything I've seen of her in this, she looks pretty good.
She looks cool.
Yeah.
I feel like you could do Thor.
And also,
One sort of
Chris Pine and
epic
Steve
with her.
Trevor is going to be pretty awesome, I think.
Is that
Yeah, they cast
that's
Chris
true?
Pine as Steve Trevor, yeah.
What?
Yeah, and I think that's perfect casting.
Yeah,
And then can we just say Nathan Fillion is someone?
please just make him a main character of something. I don't just stick him in there. I don't even.
It's anywhere, please.
I'm trying to think of like what
Comic book fan base so badly wants him to be a superhero in some capacity.
Booster
he
Gold.
was.
Make him Booster Gold.
I mean, Nova, I know people have thrown around a lot.
That would be
too.
really
He
cool.
was a
Yeah.
superhero.
Well, he's Captain Hammer.
Captain Hammer.
And actually, he was a superhero in Super as well. He was that
Oh,
Christian superhero.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. He's been a couple of superheroes.
Captain Righteousness or something like that.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah. That movie's crazy. I love that movie. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about specifically?
I've
got a couple other titles, but like
we could literally go on with this forever.
Yeah, because there's tons of cool comics out there that would lend themselves.
And
to
I'm
those.
sure, like, come through the summer when we get to like the next big Comic-Cons and whatever, we'll be hearing more stuff being announced.
Probably
and,
some of this stuff, even.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like.
Because there is stuff that is in the pipeline that like I don't have on my list in front of me. Like Captain Marvel is like
Yes.
one I
that's gonna
really
happen.
want to see, and that's happening.
Doctor Strange,
Black Panther,
the Inhumans.
The Inhumans, definitely. Like more Guardians of the Galaxy stuff. I just want
Yep.
to see more of the cosmic Marvel stuff being done and starting getting into the magical stuff. Like I want to see Iron Fist. We know that's coming.
Yes.
I want to see Doctor Strange. We know that's coming.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. I mean, and we're hearing that. I mean, obviously, I always want a cool version of the Punisher. I'm the Punisher fan on the podcast, and now I think we're going to get that.
And Elektra.
I mean, and Elektra. I mean, because I'm pretty sure he's going to get his own show.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this is set up for that. They're going to see how this.
And
plays.
then in Shield, we're getting some variation on the Secret Warriors.
Well,
so.
that's awesome.
and I don't know if you've heard, but they're talking about a Netflix potential spin-off would be Thunderbolts.
Yeah,
That'd be
Talk
sweet.
about that.
a
That'd be
Thunderbolts
so
movie
cool.
would be really cool.
Or a Netflix show.
Yeah, or
I mean, that's what they're talking about.
Yeah, a
is
Thunderbolts
kinda,
series.
really cool.
Yeah, there's so many cool characters still out there in these things. I was just gonna say Young Avengers in some capacity.
Yeah, I don't
Whatever
know.
that takes on, I don't know what that
Maybe.
would be exactly. But something, I think that's the next thing they need to go to is the young people in the Marvel universe.
I don't think we're quite there yet.
Well, we're getting Spider-Man, and
Yeah.
they seem to really be wanting to. I mean, think about a Young Avengers movie led by Spider-Man.
That could be cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Really cool.
I mean, it's a possibility. Or
No,
things like
definitely.
Runaways or Miss Marvel. Mm-hmm. I mean, hell, there you go right there. I've got two members of my Young Avengers are Spider-Man and Miss Marvel.
Yeah, yeah. To be fair, like in the all new, all different Avengers that is coming out, those are two members of the Avengers.
That's true.
So, like right there, we've got the like base of the team right there.
Yeah, there you go.
Throw a little Falcon and Thor on top of that, and look what we got.
Yeah. So,
I have two more.
sure.
Ones that I've talked about before. Couple movies, or actually a 4-hour movie
Okay.
of
Dances
Habibi.
with Wolves
So,
style.
two movies is what
No,
you're saying then.
a 4-hour movie
Okay.
of Habibi.
Sure.
I think that is
I would say animated.
maybe. I mean, if
Did you ever see the movie version of Persepolis?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's super good.
It's really good.
but
yeah, that was a great comic adaptation.
Right?
Yeah.
But kind of in that same style, I feel like they could really nail like his art style.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is it is so. I mean, all comics are visual, but it is so incredibly visual and sometimes like a meta visual sort of
Yeah.
sense that it would be great animated. I also think it'd be fascinating to see that as a live action.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
some of those mystical elements are still there, but my gosh, that would be no audience member would leave there untouched by that movie. That's the thing. Is if they did justice to that, if they did a really good adaptation of that, nobody would leave there feeling anything but just like beauty. Right? I mean,
I
like,
feel
it's-
they're walking
beauty.
out. They're walking out of the theater. The guys with the little clipboards, like, so what did you think of the movie? I feel beauty,
Yep, that's right.
Huh?
That's what it.
And on a scale of 1 to 10,
beauty,
yeah.
I just feel like.
Now, what did you dislike? Yeah.
beauty,
And then
You seem to be saying that a lot.
beauty.
Okay, I'm going to put you down as a 7,
yeah, a 7.
which is mostly enjoyed it. Actually, that reminds me of something else, which is an adaptation that's out there now, and it's kind of an interesting one. Is Fun Home? Are you aware of what they've done with Fun Home?
No,
Fun Home is now a Broadway musical.
you know that makes perfect sense. Like I wouldn't have thought it until you said it, but that makes perfect sense. to
Now
me.
Tony Award winner for Best Musical.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
No
I've
way.
listened to the soundtrack and it's crazy good. It's really good. I mean, I would love to see a production of it. I've seen some like on some TV shows. They've done a couple of numbers from it. Mm-hmm. It's really good. They have 3 actresses play Alison Bechdel at the 3 different ages, and she's sitting. So, like one part of the stage is her at her table writing and telling the story, and then it illuminates the other parts of it and stuff. Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
It's
That
really-
makes absolutely perfect sense.
yeah. So that's an interesting thing as well, and a different approach to adapting a comic, and to adapt it into a musical nonetheless too.
I mean, they tried with Spider-Man.
Yes, they did.
It worked.
There's an entire book about what went wrong there.
All of the Spider-Men.
Yeah, all of the Spider-Men. What was the other thing you had?
Oh, and my one last thing, and this would be just so much fun, would be a 2 or 3 movie series of Bandette, which I know neither of you guys have read, maybe at this point in the podcasting.
Nope. I can
world.
say with pretty much certainty. I haven't read it yet.
I have not read it.
Challenge accepted. It is.
I intend to. It's one of the things I've been meaning to get around to.
If you remember my synopsis of it, I mean, it's got elements of like Pink Panther, like good fun heist movies. It's so much fun. It is just like bright and fun and an
I
interesting...
realize you may not know what this is, but it gave me a very Sly Cooper vibe.
Yeah, I know Sly Cooper is. I know what Sly and the Family Stone is. Slightly different.
Definitely not the same thing.
And hey, man, I know what Sly Stallone is. So.
Yep, also very, very different.
Now we're pitching just dream things. Those 3 things together. But
do you know that Frank Miller... Do you know what Frank Miller said about The Dark Knight Returns as a potential movie adaptation? He said the only actor who could physically embody his Batman would be Sylvester Stallone.
What?
That's what he said. He said the only actor out there who could match the physicality of the Batman he drew, and that would be Sylvester Stallone.
Sure, physicality, but that's not necessarily what we're going for in every single movie.
it would explain why...
I could be Batman. I'm Batman. What are you doing?
That would be... Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Wait.
I would rather see Schwarzenegger as Batman
No,
before Sylvester Stallone.
That's complete nonsense. That you can't. Schwarzenegger?
Yes.
No. I mean,
If we're going with just physicality,
no, Stallone.
no, Schwarzenegger.
Okay, this is completely ridiculous. But if you want to tweet #Stallone for Batman, you
Here's
can go
the
ahead and
thing:
do that.
is either of them,
Schwarzenegger for Batman. You don't need to write anything else. That's the whole tweet.
either of them would be better suited in All-Star Batman and Robin because they have 2 lines in that whole.
I'm the goddamn Batman.
Yeah,
I'm the goddamn Batman.
there you go. It's like,
Either way, you have no idea what they're saying.
Yep. Anyways, Bandette is just like a fun spy versus spy, thief versus thief. You know,
Yeah, it looks really cool.
it's really fun.
I definitely want to read it. So I think that's gonna wrap up our conversation, or at least we're gonna stop it for today because
We're gonna stop recording.
Yeah.
You don't understand what happens after we hit stop.
Yeah,
on the
we'll talk for
recording.
another 6 hours about this.
You're
Most likely.
wrong.
Yeah.
That's what it
How
is.
dare you? We'll see if there's another episode after this, or how many people survive the after talk about this. We turn now, as we always do, to our recommendation segment where we recommend comics we think you should be reading. And Donovan, do you want to start?
I absolutely do want to start.
Okay.
Briefly mentioned this earlier, but something that I think is perfect is The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Yes.
It is by Roberto Aguirre-Sacasa, which is the guy who does Afterlife with Archie. Art by Robert Hack and Jack Morelli. And it is it is such a good take on the Sabrina mythos. Like, first...
That's like the term Sabrina mythos.
That's a real thing, John.
Sabrina
And
It lends kind of a Lovecraftian air to it that,
it starts on Halloween,
of course.
Oh, sure.
like late 40s, early 50s. And Edward Spellman
Yep.
is looking out the window because his daughter is about to be born, right? He's hold on, he's a witch.
I like you're really painting this picture.
He's a witch.
Is it a witch?
His wife-
Is a man still a witch, or is he a
Man can
warlock?
still be a witch.
Yep.
Okay.
He's in a
I always
coven.
thought the warlock was the male version.
Warlock means oathbreaker. Not necessarily the same thing.
He's in
Okay.
a coven.
All right.
Sister Hilda,
Uh-huh.
Sister Zelda.
Sure.
His wife is immortal,
Yep.
right? Not immortal.
Amortal.
Immortal,
Yeah.
right? He's going to have the baby, but something terrible is going to happen. He goes into the room. Her and the baby are gone, right? He now has to leave. Crazy stuff happens, and he has to give the baby to Hilda and Zelda. Okay. It is incredible. You get to watch this little girl grow up, raised by Hilda and Zelda. The father's crazy stuff happening.
Yeah.
Not exactly ex-wife, but ex-lover of his who is a witch who might be crawling out of hell, might want to take down everything that Edward's ever loved.
It's too soon to tell.
Like, everything about it is, it's so dark.
Now, is it a faithful representation of Salem?
Yeah. Oh, Salem's great. Salem might be my favorite part of the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
Salem and Harvey.
Sabrina.
Harvey.
Harvey.
I forgot about Harvey.
Harvey Kinkle is great in this series.
I forgot his last name was Kinkle.
I forgot he existed entirely. So
This-
and
I
definitely
just-
his last name was Kinkle.
Man, I just feel
Excuse
like...
me, Mr. Kinkle.
Anyways,
What a great name.
Unfortunately, as far as I can tell, the issues are coming out pretty sporadically. I've read through issue 4 at this point, knowing that this podcast was recorded in 1994. Just
Yep.
as a reference for people
Just to let you
coming out
know,
with this.
it's
The
May.
time travel worked, guys. We didn't make it very far,
May 3rd,
but it worked.
1994. We've invented podcasting
Too bad.
as the first podcast.
Too bad our...
Again, I've said I believe the first podcast was FDR
Yep.
addressing the nation.
Yeah, who do you think gave him the idea? Franklin. Taking credit for our idea. Anyways, I think the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina is, I'm going to say, eerie. I'm going to say, I don't want to say heartwarming. What's the opposite of heartwarming? Heart chilling?
Blood chilling?
Blood
It's blood
curdling?
chilling.
Blood curdling?
It's blood chilling in a sweet kind of way,
Aw.
but also terrifying.
Oh, my blood is
So,
so
like
cold
Cabin in the
right
Woods?
But also terrifying.
Like Cabin in the
now.
Woods.
Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah. It's Cabin in the Woods. Go
Awesome.
watch Cabin in the Woods. That's my recommendation.
Like Weekend at Bernie's.
Like Weekend at Bernie's.
This is Weekend at Bernie's meets...
If the corpse was walking around
Salem
on
Witch
his own.
Trials.
No, that. Believe me, the creators of that comic do not want Weekend at Bernie's invoked at all.
Well, sorry,
That's
Roberto.
my bad. I should never mention that.
I
movie.
invoke Weekend at Bernie's.
No! Why? How could you?
All the comics left on the shelves just disappear.
Damn you!
But if you play music, they come back. Mm-hmm. They dance around.
La 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 la.
Is that a Weekend at Bernie's 2 reference?
What?
Yeah, I think it is.
You think that I wouldn't go there, John?
I didn't know.
John, what do you got for recommendations?
So what I've got are it's sort of a series of titles, but they're all connected. Which is the current Titan Comics run of the Doctor Who comics. They have individual titles for each of
Wait,
the modern Doctors.
Titan Comics? I thought IDW had.
Titan
Doctor
has it
Who.
now. Yep. Titan in co-publication with BBC
Interesting.
is making a whole new run of Doctor Who comics focusing on the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th Doctors.
Okay.
They have individual
So the
series.
modern
running of each of
Doctor
those. Yeah.
run.
And they're all really good. They're all done by, obviously, there's a variety of artists and
You read all
writers.
of them?
I've
Or
read.
smattering
I
of
have
them?
not read anything of the 9th, but I have read 10, 11, and
That's
some
not
of 10,
surprising.
11, and 12. I don't think there's a trade out of 9 yet. Is why I haven't read that.
Oh.
But they're out in hardcover trades now. There's also yeah, so they're really good though. I think they really do a good job of capturing the voice. They kind of fit in around like the 10th Doctor stuff is post Donna Noble, pre End of Time, somewhere in that gap where he's just doing stuff.
That's the thing with like even in between episodes, there could be huge gaps of time with Doctor Who. 'Cause
Exactly.
Who friggin' knows?
And that's kind of what the comic is doing. Is just like, oh, it'll fit in here so that it feels like canon and stuff like that. They're really fun, and I think they do a good job of capturing the voice of the show.
Cool.
So check
Excellent.
those out. Doctor Who comics from Titan. Gorgoni, what do you got?
I've got 2. I've kind of got a I don't know what to call this, a re-recommendationing. Because
we'll come up with something better than that.
pretty early on, I recommended the Shield comic,
Yes.
written by Mark Waid. I have since gotten the trade of that, and I can unequivocally say that comic is pretty dang great.
Good.
Because last time I had just read the first issue. This comic is so much fun. Every issue has a different artist to it, and as they're going through, they're kind of following these characters that, speaking of adaptations, originated in the show Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So we've
Yep.
got Coulson, we've got Agent May, and we've got Fitz and Simmons
This
are
is
now
going the opposite way of that.
right, exactly, and they're brought into the comic book universe, and we're following them around. Specifically, Coulson on like each issue is kind of like a different mission that he, what his basically his superpower is. He has memorized every superhuman's like capabilities and abilities, and he knows the best way to like mix and match them. The name of the trait is called Perfect Bullets because like he doesn't have the best gun for every problem. He knows the perfect bullets for every problem.
Okay.
Like he mix and matches these superheroes in a way it's like they're going to be the best combination to fix this problem.
Oh man, he's almost like a card game player or something like
Coulson is
The
quarterback.
first issue, actually, he wins a card game against all of the other Avengers. And he's just
Yeah.
like, how do you always do this, Coulson? And he's just like looking at his notes of the like personality ticks of all these superheroes in his hand. He's
You
like,
know what I mean? Like,
I've got a way.
like those card games where so and so has these abilities and
Right.
this, and it feels like he's doing that, but
with
actual,
superheroes, yeah. One of the best issues in the whole run is him just getting the Invisible Woman to take down like a terrorist.
Awesome.
And she's like an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. on the side.
So unlike Josh Trank, this comic has respect for the Invisible Woman.
And she's amazing. There's this whole scene where she's doing open heart surgery, like using her force fields as all of these like equipment and stuff,
so cool.
and like making the blood invisible so she can see the arteries and stuff. But she doesn't know how to do open heart surgery, so Simmons is in her ear talking her through it the whole time.
Oh my god!
It's so intense and
That
amazing.
sounds amazing.
It's
yes, more stuff for Sue Storm, who's an
she's-
amazing character.
Sue Richards, please. She's married.
It's true.
How dare you?
I know. It
But it's a great comic.
breaks my heart. She's off the market.
So I re-recommend that.
You can't bring yourself to remembering that.
no.
My other
I
recommendation.
still hold out hope we're going to get together. Yeah.
My other recommendation
Yes.
is the new run of Batgirl, which is
Oh, yes.
kind of this is one of my big problems with DC is how they organize their trades. So this is the one I just picked up was a volume 1, but it is issue 35 through 40 of Batgirl.
Yes, but it is a whole new creative team. And
No,
a new
it
look.
is,
I mean,
it
it's
is.
kind of a
You
relaunch.
say that, but not moments before this podcast was I confused by the Kelly Sue DeConnick run of Captain.
Yeah,
Sure, I'm not-
Hang on, DC is guilty of this.
But at least Marvel had the decency to start renumbering the Captain Marvel stuff.
But it's
like that starts
but it's
that
like-
volume 1 starts with an issue 1.
Yeah, but it's. It's like DeConnick 1 through 6. Oh, this one's DeConnick 1 through 6. You're like, oh, they're the exact same thing, 2 different covers.
and
no,
if you want to
they
get
have-
all of the Captain Marvel stuff, you also have to buy an Avengers Assemble comic.
This is
in
true,
the
but
middle of it.
you know that is nowhere near as bad as some of the stuff DC pulls with in terms of like trying to get all the event stuff.
Sure. Well,
Like,
I don't know.
their
Marvel
issue-
does that
Events
crap
things
too,
are different.
though.
But the DC's way worse about it in terms
about
of
the
like
event stuff.
their issues being all over the place in terms of their trades.
Well, I mean,
This is a whole other
you've got to
conversation.
read.
I want to recommend Batgirl, okay? It's written by Cameron Stewart and Brendan Fletcher, and the art is by Babs Tarr.
Yes.
It is kind of a fresh new take on Batgirl. If you saw her redesigned costume floating
I
around the
love
internet a
that
while
costume.
ago, it looks great.
Yeah, I love that costume.
It's kind of more of like a DIY, like she put it together herself.
And also a little bit 66.
It's a little 66, and I will begrudgingly admit that it is pretty
no
awesome.
motorcycle.
I've
She's
talked.
got an awesome motorcycle.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I've talked about that. I've talked about this on the show, but I love that design of Batgirl in the '66 show. That costume and the motorcycle are awesome.
But this version of
agree.
Batgirl is a lot of fun. She's hanging out in the cool section of Gotham now. It's called Burnside, which I can appreciate as a Portlander.
Oh, it's kind of like was it? Is it Williamsburg in New York?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
She moves to like the hip new
It's the hipster part of town.
of town. They've got baristas all over the place.
Yeah.
I like that their coffee joint was the scientific name for a bat.
Yeah. Oh, it's fun. It's a fun book.
It's a really fun
It
book.
seems to me like they're trying, and rightfully so. A lot of both the big two right now are really trying to chase young girls with their comics.
Why not? There's a great.
That's funny because
the
that's what all comic book readers are also trying to do: chase young girls.
Ooh, wow. And
saying.
I'm the one saying what you're thinking.
I just came, guys. Before this, I just came in from a bout of chasing some young girls around. They did not like it.
No, you're just channeling some Manzukis there.
They were not happy about it.
That's why. Never mind. That's
They had a look of fear in their eyes. It was not.
Well, if you want to read a comic book with fear in their eyes and young girls, definitely check out Batgirl.
You know I do.
That was a weird segue.
No, I do. And I don't know why you'd want to after this, but if you want to get in contact with us for some reason,
If only just to say, just stop.
yeah, law enforcement agencies can probably get in touch with us for some of these things. You can follow us on Twitter at Panel on Panels. We're also on Facebook as Panel on Panels. Let's see. We're on Instagram.
You can email us at
We're on
panelonpanels@gmail.com.
Yes. Are we on anything else? Is there anything else?
No, the internet ends up.
We're not on.
We have a MySpace.
Do we have a MySpace?
Friendster,
We have a Friendster.
We have
Google Plus.
Yeah, no. I think people might actually look for us on
We have
Google
a
Plus. We're not
LinkedIn.
on there. We're linked. Yeah, we have a LinkedIn if you want to hire us, like collectively, not individually. And I believe all three of us have individual Instagrams too. If you want to look
if we do have individual Instagrams, do we want to go through those names?
No,
I know.
know. You can find us.
just find us
Well,
or don't. I don't post that much
Well,
stuff, so
No,
Basically, listeners, what we say is
I
you
check
do all
I
the
check
work.
in weekly on Instagram these days. So
You do all the work. Gorgoni and I also have Twitters.
oh
at this
yeah, I don't
point.
have it.
Maybe
I don't
We
have
do
it.
do the tweets.
In case you want to hear some non-biased things.
Sure. So that's gonna do
Because
it.
this show isn't very biased.
No, not at all. So that's gonna do it for Panel on Panels this week. I've been John Campbell.
I am currently Mike Gergoni.
And I will always be Donovan Eilert.
Keep reading comics, everyone, and remember, tweet was it Stallone for Batman.
Or Schwarzenegger for Batman.
We shall see who wins that battle when we return next week on Panel on Panels.